keep things moving. It's 9 o'clock. We'll be with you until midday Central African time. Come in. You are welcome. This is your home. You can just rest easy and you can couch with us in our studio here, and you can be part of our furniture as well. Just join us in our live streams, and remember, our live streams are there for you so you can be part of the On The Move family. Remember, you can find us on our live stream on YouTube. It's the greatest way to actually hang out with us. When you're there, just comment and let us know what you think of the different topics that are coming up. And remember, you can also find us on our Facebook handle at Channel Africa 1. Hey, what's coming up today? We're going to be looking at a very big trend that's happening right now on the African continent, where African filmmakers are facing challenges, right, in terms of getting access to international streaming platforms. But what they're trying to do now is trying to say, okay, we are going to take control of the narrative. Let's put our content on YouTube. And they're getting a whole lot of following on those particular platforms because they have this ownership. It's also giving them that independence of, controlling the narrative of what's in their filmmaking. We're going to be speaking to David Mugume, a renowned Ugandan filmmaker, director, writer, and producer. And then in our second hour, we're going to be looking at something very interesting. There's a festival happening here in Joburg very soon where the traditions of the Nigerian people is going to be celebrated. And it's interesting, right? It made us think, how is it, living in a foreign land and you still have to preserve your culture, but not only preserve it for yourself, but also share it with others. So that should be a good one.
Yeah, good morning to you and yours. Happy Friday. We're going to have a good time. And in the final hour, it's our music hour. And today we're going back in time. I've actually been enjoying speaking to some of the older artists that we have here on the African continent. And one of those who've actually been quite significant, I think you've also heard him once or twice in our Friday music quiz when we spoke about old school music. That is Arthur Mwafoka, the South African producer, singer, songwriter. And you know what? We're going to be chatting to him in today's final hour, looking back, I guess, at his career, but also finding out about his evolution and what he's up to today in the world. So that's going to be quite interesting. I'm looking forward to that. Come in, join us. We are not just listening live on the platforms that Gwen just told you, but we are on the socials at Channel Africa 1 on our social media handles. That's X, Instagram, TikTok, Threads. But you can also find us on Facebook. We are Channel Africa there, streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube. And of course, our WhatsApp number, +263 406 9126. Happy Friday and welcome to On The Move.
Let's go.
Get set and be ready to go. On the Move with Palesa and Benjamin Moshatama.
África. Conhece o Ntivani?
Claro que sou eu.
Ntivani é o amante da música de corpo e alma.
Eu amo música africana.
Ele aprecia todos os tipos de melodias e passa os seus dias a ouvir a Channel Africa. Okay. Adivinha só, a Channel Africa quer ajudar o Ntivani e os amantes da música em todo o lado a descobrir ainda mais música incrível. Por isso, a Channel Africa está a convocar artistas africanos a submeterem as suas músicas. Músicos, lembrem-se de nos dar todas as informações relevantes no music@channelafrica.co.za. As submissões são a vossa oportunidade de ser ouvidos, mas não garantem inclusão na lista. Todas as submissões serão cuidadosamente analisadas para verificar se cumprem os requisitos da nossa estação. Canal África, a perspectiva africana.
9 to 12 midday Central African Time. On the Move with Palesa and Benjamin Moshatama.
Hey, let's start with African film as our theme in the first hour. Filmmakers on the African continent have faced challenges when attempting to collaborate with international streaming platforms, right? The high pitch for quality of production, the approval and content requirements, also the narratives as well, that are sometimes not the ones that African filmmakers want to tell, can make it very difficult to create those synergies. Meanwhile, streaming giants have started reducing commissioning of new originals in Africa due to profitability and market constraints. But new creators from the African continent are saying, no, we're not stopping there. We're not going to be determined by you how we accelerate the film industry on the African continent. In fact, we're going to use the tools that are accessible for us. And what's happening is that YouTube is becoming a primary distribution channel due to shrinking traditional distribution avenues and limited infrastructure. I want to speak about this, the idea of filmmakers using YouTube as a key distributing channel. Davidson Mugume is joining us, a renowned film maker from Uganda, director, writer, and also is the founder of the Matatu Film Stage, and we'll speak about that a little bit later on. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. This is such an interesting trend story. Welcome here on The Move, Davidson.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let's talk a little bit about the main challenge, Davidson, in terms of getting things distributed. Because I think we have the creativity, we've got an industry. Someone would say maybe we might be struggling with infrastructure somewhere, somehow, but definitely there is talent on the African continent. What is stirring this new direction where filmmakers are like, you know what, we'll use the tools that we have, and it seems like YouTube is the main thing now?
Yes, you said it so well there when you said infrastructure, and that is the biggest setback we have. The creativity is there, the passion is there, but without the infrastructure to have their work distributed and giving that certification to potential investors that they'll get their money back, then there's revenue that comes into the industry. So that puts this bottleneck where it holds us back as creatives. And I'm happy to see that with the emerging technologies, and right now, even in Uganda, the number of youths who are buying smartphones and internet, readily accessible internet all over the country is growing tremendously, and Africa as a continent. So now, for any creative, it's a given. You're like, okay, I can just create a channel for free on YouTube, my work there. So that's the way to go.
Davidson, a lot has changed in the film industry all across the world. I mean, if you look at the evolution of it, there was once a time where, going to the cinema was quite popular. That was obviously taken away by the COVID-19 pandemic. There was also a time where distribution on DVD and VHS was so popular that any filmmaker, especially on the African continent, could put out their film. It was on DVD and it could be sold and resold over and over again. And then streaming platforms obviously have become the big thing now. But because of these international streaming platforms, there's a lot of hoops to go through. Just yesterday, I was actually watching a film by a South African filmmaker who's put down a series called Shut Up, Men Are Talking on YouTube. And I think it's been quite interesting because I saw it trending on TikTok and I'm like, I have to go and watch this. How have African filmmakers really used social media to their disposal when they realize that they have challenges being sort of set aside on these international streaming platforms?
I think that is one of the things that us as filmmakers, we had nothing to do but to go with that, because I'll use an example. I was in Rwanda for a festival and there was a category for web series. And also one of the premier, we have been in a festival this whole week, Matatu Film Stage Festival. And yesterday we premiered one of our projects called Enolavu, which the director and the producer, when we're putting it together, it was made in a web series format. So the whole project adds up to a feature film length. But at the end of the day, during the filming, it's also cut into 10 episodes so that anyone can watch it on YouTube, anyone can watch it online. I think this is adaptability, and it's the way to go. If you notice the trends of information, you say something really important there, Palesa, of the history of film. Back then was cinema, and then came from the theater, got into TV and digital, VHS and everything. And if you notice that back then information, we're right now in a world of information. And back in the day, if you're making a premiere like Alfred Hitchcock, it would take him a year to 2 years just to prepare for a film. And during that whole time, people are waiting. There's anticipation. The marketing is going well, and the budgets were low. These days, information is so on the nose that things are changing every day. And because of that consistent change, structures like back in the day of distribution and broadcasters insisting on a specific, you have to have a specific target market. What is your audience model? So right now, because the internet is vast, it gives the creatives an opportunity to focus on a niche, a specific market, and create products for that market. So because of that, the African community that has also been held back prior because of the limited resources and Netflix coming in Africa and slowing down a bit because the numbers were not showing up, now begin to be like, okay, if that is not happening, the traditional structure is not happening, then why don't I veer off and go into this? And started as influencers, but now creatives are also using that space.
Sure. The big question is here, look, you guys are investing so much in creating all these films, but are you making the money out of it?
That's the big question. And for the most part, the films that we've been making have been grants funded from usually partnerships with Western companies. But what has been changing now and why YouTube is an important concept is you're noticing that because of that opportunity to get to the market, because there's already a platform where sponsors can come on board, monetize. For example, YouTube monetizing your channel, and people already coming on board and be like, okay, there's consistency in this channel. They'll always give us good work. It's easy for us to go into that space because now initially we were struggling to make our money back because of the limited infrastructure. We couldn't make our money back as easy as we could. But now because of this opportunity, YouTube is going to monetize your channel. Ads are going to be playing. That means extra revenue on your side. So the only thing is for you to bring out the creativity you need. You have to engage your audience. And the moment you have an idea of what your audience is looking for, and you can sense, okay, what is my market? I think also for creatives, this is something to look at. I like what you just said of, what did you call that series that went out of, this is a man's space, let the men talk.
It's a series that South African filmmaker Chris Q Radebe has put out on his YouTube channel called Shut Up, Men Are Talking.
Yes, so you can hear that already. It's cutting off a very big chunk of the market, but the audience. But for him, he's looking for a specific audience. And that's, you have to know what your audience is looking for. And the moment you're honest with that and you give them what they really want, you're good. You'll get the money back.
All right, Davidson, let's take a bit of a break and we'll come back to some of the conversations around this. The big question as well is, does it help, cutting that distribution weight, especially when it comes to the demands of some of these streaming platforms, to say, you know what, we want to also control our narrative. In fact, some of the quality of production is not even necessary for the kind of stories we want to tell here on the African continent. We'll unpack a little bit more about this fascinating trend. Stay with us right here on Channel Africa.
Step into the heart of the day on the move with Palesa and Benjamin.
Ukatili wa kijinsia unaharibu maisha na kutenga jamii. Hutokea nyumbani, shuleni, kazini na mara nyingi kwa ukimya. Lakini hauwezi kuendelea. Ukiona, ongea. Ikiwa unaumia, funguka, kwa sababu kutofanya lolote sio chaguo. Sikiliza vituo vyote 19 vya redio kuanzia Jumatano ya tarehe 23 Julai kwenye mijadala, ushauri, tamthilia, maonyesho ya elimu na mahojiano na wataalamu, manusura, watunga sheria na nchi nzima iliyoathirika na ukatili wa kijinsia kwenye vituo vyako pendwa vya redio. Piga simu 0800 428 ili kuripoti unyanyasaji au kupata msaada. GBV ikomeshwe na wewe. Ujumbe huu umeletwa kwenu na shirika la SABC.
No time to waste. Be on the move with Benjamin Moshatama and Palesa.
That's certainly an interesting conversation indeed. African filmmakers are looking to social media platforms like YouTube to distribute their films because there is a lot of saturation now with streaming platforms, and there need to be new avenues that are being pursued to get those films out there. And we're talking about that this morning with Davidson Mugume, who is a renowned Ugandan filmmaker, director, writer, and producer, also the founder of the Matatu Film Stage. And we continue this conversation with him. I want to bring it back to the last conversation and the last question that Benjamin had in terms of monetization. YouTube is something that people have seen, like, content creators or influencers have seen as a way to vlog and to bring in a little bit of income. But I don't know if YouTube is a way to actually make as much money as big films had in the past. And these days, everything, because of digitization, the audiences, African audiences, international audiences expect really good quality when it comes to filmmaking, in terms of the production, in terms of the writing, in terms of the actors and actresses, and also just the overall quality of the film itself. Is there more investment when it comes to the quality of the film? And is there going to be a return on that investment through this new social media avenues that filmmakers are taking, Davidson?
The return on investment with this avenue, I see there is promise. Definitely going back to there's something that the foundation used to give us, like that original structure of going to a distributor, going through producers and everything. It was helping us actually get talent and helping us identify, okay, what's the new thing? And they really, really, when it's done well, it really helps us get really good film. But this avenue, now it's giving everyone an opportunity to tell a story. But the moment TikTok came in place and everyone can film themselves and edit themselves, apps like CapCut came in to help people edit on their phones. Right now, the creativity is vast. The pool has expanded. It's no longer a gated industry, and that has opened up the gates for so much. So there's a little bit of concern at some point of the narrative, what narrative and how film is being done. Of course, standards are important, but I still see at the end of the day, chaos is a good place to start if you want. Right now, the world is changing every day. And this is one of those things that we are catching up with technology. And Africa, as filmmakers in Africa, for me, I see this as an opportunity to explore, but at the same time, also, we may not be able to hit the quality like companies from Hollywood are putting out. But as long as we have the story being told, for me, the thing, we have to tell our stories, and the quality might not be as the same. Standards might go low a bit, but at the end of the day, with more monetization and more revenue coming in, I'm optimistic that value will come in. And also companies will also see interest because the traffic is promising.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about the new pathway that's been created here, and the possibility that, it also creates a sense of independence for the filmmakers or those even collaborating in that film production experience, right? You own your own production, but also you can also leverage on how you distribute it. That element of IP and ownership, do you think it's also another influence here on why many filmmakers are taking this direction?
Definitely. The signing of a contract, and you see film is like for an artist, when you work on a project, it becomes part of you. You live it, breathe it, dream it. You cry, you stress about so many things to make it work. The frustration of back and forth, a team to make this project work is, it takes a village to make a film. But after all that sweat, seeing this project being taken, it breaks your heart. Also, the vision that you have sometimes as a creative is, as a director or producer, it's hard. It breaks you to see your film not hitting the level it could have, or the quality of distribution. So this is an opportunity actually to help with good revenue. A good director can actually put out a very good project. I'll use an example of our big directors in Uganda, Lukman Ali, who made a film that later on went on Netflix, The Girl in the Yellow Jumper. There's one, he did, one of the ways he put his work out there was to use a YouTube, whereby he would make a film and put it on YouTube, and the returns, the numbers are looking good. And from there, he put the brand out. He put his brand out, and now he's one of our biggest directors in Uganda.
Wow.
And so there are platforms you can use, but also for me, I know that you can own your rights. You can own the good thing right now. We're entering a world of royalties, or whereby you're going to earn from this project for a very long time.
Yeah.
And as a filmmaker, you have to retire well. We invest a lot of time. Projects take years to actually get out. And after all those years, it's worth it to know that even after 15 to 25 years, you can still earn a coin from this project. So that creates a very good foundation. And also as an artist, an industry, it gives us an opportunity to earn from our craft, because most filmmakers we still push through passion. We still work in industries, in positions where we don't earn from this. So having a platform where you can film something and know that 15 years from now, you're still on the rights to that and protect it, so that anyone who gets it from your channel and plays it or try to make money from it, flags are going to come up. Those are good things to protect us. And yeah.
I love it. And I think it's also beautiful for young and upcoming filmmakers to see, you know, how you guys are evolutionizing the film industry here in Africa. So they know that they don't have to rely on international platforms, that they can actually go out there and be competitive internationally by releasing their own films and investing in themselves. But before we go, Davidson, let's chat a little bit about the Matatu film stage. Tell us about that. You know, what is it? You know, when will it be, and how are you interacting with that particular environment?
Wow, Matatu. That's the Matatu film stage right now. We're in our third edition. We started on the 4th of this month, and today is our last screenings. We had over 27 short films from across Africa.
Wow.
We specifically looked for bold African stories that are challenging the narrative and focusing on telling our story. And what we've done is put them in cinema, not only in theater. We have at Arena Mall, Acacia Cinema. We had the high end where people can come and watch these films for a whole week. But we also had workshops throughout the week where we had creatives, including some of our industry bigwigs, came through and had amazing workshops. Even today we have some workshops. But at the same time also, we wanted to have film exhibited in alternative spaces. So we've been showcasing films in the local cinemas, in the city, and we're planning to do that. So what is the vision? The vision is to make sure that we do not only showcase this is just the beginning. Matatu Film Stage is a biannual festival that not only screens in Uganda, but we're going to go to Nairobi, we're going to go to Accra, we're going to go to Kigali, we're going to Dar es Salaam. Also in March, we're going to the UK. What we're doing is bold. Yeah, we have to be bold and put our films in places where the community will come through. And definitely that we need to, collaboration is important for us. And we have had tremendous support from the community, the Ugandan community. Over 60% have access, like in cinemas. Every screening, we have over 50% turnout, which is amazing. Most especially for us, what we do with Matatu, we make sure that people pay. Most festivals are for free. For us, even in the local cinema, you'll pay at least a coin or two to create that consistency of when I'm coming to watch film, even if it's African film, I will pay for it.
I love that.
So that's one thing I'm getting.
We have to leave it there, Davidson. We run out of time. Thank you so much for having this conversation with us. Sounds like there's a lot of hope for the African film industry and for African filmmakers. We appreciate you chatting to us this morning.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Benjamin, and thank you so much, Palesa.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. That's
Cheers.
renowned Ugandan filmmaker, director, writer and producer Davidson Mugumbe, also the founder of the Matatu Film Stage. It's 9:31 Central Africa time. Let's bring in Musibudi Makura for our latest sports.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Thank you so much, Palesa. Very good morning from the sports desk. I will start here. So Egypt have booked their place at the 2026 FIFA World Cup after a dominant 3-0 victory over Djibouti, securing top spot in Group A with a game to spare. So that result ensures that the Pharaohs return to the global stage after missing out on the 2022 edition in Qatar. It will be their fourth appearance at the World Cup following campaigns in 1934, 1919, as well as in 2018. That was their last time they went to the World Cup. It was, by the way, held in Russia back in 2018. Now, Egypt's qualification marks the culmination of a near-flawless campaign under coach Hussam Hassan, who has combined defensive discipline with attacking flair. The Pharaohs, by the way, have scored 19 goals in 9 matches, with Mohamed Salah contributing 9 of those 19 goals. Hugo Bruce, who is the head coach of the South African men's national football team, says tonight's Crunch 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier against Zimbabwe is the most important game in almost 24 years. So this sense of urgency is heightened as Bafana Bafana play their penultimate Group C game, currently tied on 14 points with Benin, but behind on goal difference following a 3-point deduction by FIFA. So the last time Bafana Bafana reached the World Cup through qualification was back in 2002 when they qualified for the South Korea and Japan edition. Despite leading the group for much of the campaign, Bruce believes his team doesn't need any favours. They still hold their fate in their own hands.
We are all aware that we are playing tomorrow a very important but also a very difficult game. I think this game of tomorrow is maybe one of the most important games of the last 24, 25 years. By victory we have a big chance to qualify. By a defeat, I think we can stop dreaming. So that means that it's very important, but it will also be difficult. Zimbabwe has always been a very difficult opponent, and it will not be different tomorrow.
Bafana Bafana arrived in Durban in the KwaZulu-Natal province yesterday. That was on Thursday morning, having assembled on Sunday. Started training in Johannesburg on Monday. The match is being played at the Moses Mabhida Stadium, and kickoff tonight is at 6 p.m. Central African time. Bruce says that they have had a good week of training, and based on what he's seen, he feels very confident about their chances in a game where he says it's a must-win.
We believe in it. We are confident. The captain said it already. What I saw the last 3-4 days on training makes me very happy. The boys are very motivated. They also know what an importance the game of tomorrow has. But we are confident that we can do the job. And it's important certainly to win tomorrow. If we win, and God is with us, the last game against Rwanda can be totally different.
Novak Djokovic remains on course to win a 5th Shanghai Masters title this after beating Zezo Bergs 6-3 and 7-5 in the quarterfinals yesterday. Now Djokovic, who was last crowned Shanghai champion back in 2018, forced the only break of the opening set in the 6th game. Now the Belgian Bergs saved 5 Djokovic set points on his own serve in the 8th game, only for the Serbian to close out the set in the next game. 2 match points were then saved by Bergs in the 12th game, but it was third time lucky for Djokovic, who closed out the victory after an hour and 52 minutes and also advanced to the semi-finals against the world number 204, Valentin Vachorat. While Iga Swiatek meanwhile battled her way to the straight sets win over 13-seed Belinda Bencic of Switzerland at the Wuhan Open on Thursday, coming out on top 7-6 and 6-4 in their third round meeting. Now Switzerland Bencic had to fight back to level from an early 3-love deficit, then broke Swiatek for a second time in the 9th game before serving for the opening set. Now second seed Swiatek broke straight back though, and after the next 2 games went went with serve dominated the ensuing tiebreak. There was another trade of back-to-back breaks in the early stages of the second set, but Swiatek converted her third break point of the seventh game, then dropped just 1 point over her next two service games to wrap up the win. The Pole, who is now seeking for a fourth title in 2025, will meet 7th seed Yasmin Paolini in the quarterfinals. For any sports stories you'd like to share with us, our email address is newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11714 4459. I'm back with more sports news in the next hour. For Channel Africa Sport, I am Musibudi Makura.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Zilipendwa na Abedi Jean de la Croix.
Leo tujadili kuhusu chipukizi wanaoimba nyimbo za wasanii wengine. Unadhani hili linatokana na nini, Omari?
Nadhani kweli kwamba tukizama muziki ya sasa, hasa wasanii ambao ni chipukizi, kwa kweli kwamba yani karibu kutoka muziki wao wenyewe, lakini wanakuwa wanataka kuhubiria muziki ya zamani na muziki ya wengine ambao tayari ni hivyo.
Wengine wanadai kufanya hivyo ni kupromote vipaji vyao haraka ili waweze kujulikana. Je, yawezekana kukawa na ukweli wowote au ndio kukosa kabisa kipaji cha kuandika mistari?
Ndio, unaona kwamba msanii anapoazimia kwamba kuchukua wimbo mwingine wa msanii mwingine na kurudia mara mbili sivyo, haionyeshi kwamba yani ndio wanaanza kazi ya muziki aizani, lakini ukiangalia kabisa asilimia kubwa utakuja kuona kwamba wanakosa ile mawazo ya kutunga muziki.
Zilipendwa kila Jumamosi kuanzia saa 12 kamili majira ya Afrika ya Kati hadi saa 1 kamili majira ya Afrika ya Kati.
Hey, thank you so much, Realebo Musibudi Makura. Let's quickly move on right now and get our latest business news.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Thank you, Benjamin, and good morning. Long queues have been snaking around petrol stations in Mali's capital, Bamako, a month after militants from an al-Qaeda affiliate imposed a fuel blockade by attacking tankers on major highways. Some of the garages which were forced to shut last week have now reopened after more 300 petrol tankers arrived under army escort from the Ivory Coast this week. Fuel prices in parts of Bamako have increased by more than 200%. Other cities and areas have also been suffering from such shortages, power cuts and fuel inflation for several weeks. Mali is landlocked, so all fuel supplies are brought into the country by road from neighbors such as Senegal and Ivory Coast. The International Monetary Fund says that a staff visit to Kenya took stock of the latest macroeconomic developments and discussed reforms that could pave the way for a new program. In a statement, the IMF says that policy priorities include measures to enhance fiscal policy credibility and ensure sustainability of public finances and debt. Kenya's $3.6 billion program, which the IMF expired earlier this year, and some officials have expressed interest with getting a new one that will include a lending component. In other news, South African Transport Minister Barbara Creecy says her department will focus on enhancing South Africa's passenger, freight and logistics systems over the next 4 years. She says this will be guided by 6 key targets, which include increasing freight carried out on the Transnet network to 250 million tons by 2029. In addition, she says they will boost the aviation industry's contribution to tourism and economic development. They expect 42 million passengers and 1.2 million tons of air freight through the airports company South Africa's network in this period. Creecy was addressing the media during the launch of the October Transport Month campaign in Midrand, Johannesburg.
By the end of May 2025, PRASA had successfully revived 35 out of 40 service lines. It had also achieved an unaudited figure of 77 million passenger journeys, and this year aims to move 116 million passengers. As a result of the very hard work by the Transnet War Room, rail tonnage increased by 9 million tons over the previous financial year.
Mining companies and the South African Department of Minerals and Petroleum Resources have been challenged to ensure greater commitment to developing and transforming communities. Community representatives at the 2025 Joburg Mining Indaba have lamented the state of affairs in mining communities and are worried about the move by Anglo American to sell its assets in South Africa. The company is restructuring, having sold off its platinum interest in Valterra and is planning to sell off its stake in diamond producer De Beers as plans to move into Canada. Boyce Kunupi represents mining communities, families and mining SMEs in Gauteng, Limpopo and Mpumalanga provinces.
Communities are not getting nothing, and it is the role of the DMR to make sure these things are delivered to the communities and the parliament, and there's no oversight on those things, and that makes things difficult. With communities standing up, trying to correct amongst other issues, they are being defeated. They're expecting that amongst other challenges of environmental will be dealt with.
The U.S. has purchased Argentine pesos, taking the next step in a controversial effort to calm a currency crisis hitting the South American country and its president. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent announced the purchase on social media while saying the U.S. has finalized terms of a planned $20 billion financial rescue for the country. The announcement helped boost the peso and Argentine debt on financial markets, but renewed debate in the U.S. where the decision to extend financial support to Argentina at a time of spending cuts at home has drawn scrutiny. Let's have a look at financial indicators at this hour. $1 in Nigeria is trading at 1,472 naira. In Botswana, 13 pula 20. Kenya, the dollar is 128 shilling 483. Zambia, 23 kwacha 24. BRICS countries, $1 in Brazil is at 5.35. In Russia, 81 rubles 26. India, 88 rupee 80. China, 71.13. South Africa, 17 rand 16 cents. $1 is 74 pence to the British pound and 86 to the euro. Looking at commodities, gold is at $3,957, platinum at $1,595, while the price of Brent crude oil is at $64.99 a barrel. That is all for now. For any business stories you'd like to share with us, please send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za, or you can call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa Business, I am Chandruko Ligege.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective. No fairy tales, just the facts and the music you love on Channel Africa.
Baby, wami tingikuchili funaongizwe ayafana majens ayafana machimbusi abanye basukushila bathi omuhle kodwa ayafana majens ayafana machimbusi bayafana bafila yoma yo ayafana majen, ayafana majimbusi. Yoma, yo, nyakje, ayafana.
Hey, we love this one. Something Soweto Magent. It's 9:47 Central African time, and we're moving into this wonderful conversation that is so dynamic, right? YouTube. Palesa, you should be on YouTube.
Yeah, I've tried a YouTube thing back in the day. Maybe I might just go back. You never know, right?
We need a Palesa Tao YouTube page.
And what's going to be on the Palesa Tao YouTube page, Benji?
Your escapades. No, we're not telling anyone. No, we're deleting that page. We don't want people knowing what you get up to. Yeah, man, it's actually interesting because, it's great to see, like, Africans finding different avenues despite the challenges.
Yeah.
Africans have a way of just surviving it all, right?
Yeah.
And just finding an opportunity where there seems to be none.
And I think it's always been that way. I mean, Africans generally, I think, are the epitome of resilience. But if you look at like the history of the African filmmaking industry, even when cinema was very popular and Africans found it hard to put their films on cinema, what Nollywood did with DVDs cannot be undone. Like, they really took over that industry at a time when still going to the cinema and having these big cinema films was quite popular. Obviously, we never got to see some of those films at cinema. And they're like, we have a different thing, we have a different vibe, we have different stories to tell, so we're going to put it on a different platform. And DVDs from Nollywood really took over, I think, that particular spectrum. They made a lot of money.
I remember those DVDs. You used to go to a taxi rank or MTN in Johannesburg in the CBD, and you'd buy like a whole lot of these DVDs.
My Sister Wives Witchcraft Part 1 and then Part 2, Part 3. You have to buy all 3 DVDs to watch this one film.
The short guy with no gun. They always had some weird like titles to them, right?
Beyonce Part 1.
Exactly. The TLC of... it was always weird. But the thing about it is that we started buying them from the black market, right? And then all of a sudden, you're switching on your television and there's a channel
and it's
that's designated
to Nollywood.
So I think this is kind of how it works, that we always find alternatives and then things become mainstreamed in that way.
Right, because we found our own way, and through that own way, then the rest of the world pays attention. Like, oh, hang on, let's put our money in here because people obviously want to see this. So I'm looking forward to seeing the evolution of African films on, platforms like YouTube and platforms like TikTok as well. And I'm looking forward to see how the world eventually pays attention. It's 9:50 Central Africa time. Let us know what your thoughts are. Did you watch Beyonce Part 1, Part 2 on Nollywood back in the day, and how are you seeing the evolution of African films on our own platforms right now? We'll keep things moving after this.
Yo. Listen up. Channel Africa is taking the digital game higher. Check it out. We are taking our digital platforms to the next level for you, our loyal listeners. You know where we at, right? New website, a fresh new app, and they're on fire. Anytime, anywhere listening, Channel Africa brings the African sound to you.
It's the bomb, yo.
Stay locked. The future is crystal clear with us. Your new way to experience Channel Africa is almost here. Africa, stand tall and get ready. Get set and be ready to go. On the move with Palesa and Benjamin Moshatama.
Eyes on my lips, many days I never sleep. Every day I'm chasing good life. Roller coaster, never tire. Sender, you wish me bad. I never come down, going higher. Johnny Sisi, load up, cash out, Onimaga, bill out, small money, ball out, Usain Bolt, run Gonna, you get the show clients, lock 'em. If you no get money, leave 'em. EFC symbol, Japa, Shoni CC, load 'em. Cash up, cash out, Onimaga, bill 'em. Small money, ball out. Usain Bolt, gonna, you get the show clients, lock 'em. If you no get money, leave 'em. EFC symbol, Japa. Yeah, la uka, yeah, come on, la tesho mola. La uka, yeah, come on, la tesho mola. Tobaka, Blacka, for me, see them on
Well, everybody anyway, now we actually make the tummy. One more dog see you, one other dog see coast, tag with story. Oh my god, you also she look tag with money to the telenegi. Where you talk, you look on, back you go, oh, fresh shit, I put cool over come.
Every day I'm chasing good life. If I don't show my body, Ayataya, roller coaster,
I'm a Johnny CC. I don't load them. If you check up, you go know say na confirma. Oh yeah, Chichi, show my Tony Pelu Kiki.
They don't confirm.
Alaye Sonny Pros, Adiwo ti fẹ́ moriwo. Ó yá Pokoli, àwọn ilé wọn máa ń gbé bọ́jú.
Eyes on my neck, eyes on my wrist. Many days I never sleep. Eyes on my neck, eyes on my wrist. For money I never sleep, mommy I take the risk. Blacka for me, Tobacco me jack by them cash. I want to meet them carnival. Oh my calo you Mado, baddest. I want to meet Bado, baddest. This place on Mr. Loda. Tobari SCC Japa. Shoni CC, Loda. Cash up, cash out. Onimaga, Bilam. Small money, ball. Mado, baddest. I want to meet Bado, baddest.
Baddest. I love that one. This Bella Schmurda featuring Zlatan Lincoln. Cash App is the name of that one. It's 9:54 Central African time. We've been speaking about the African film industry going onto YouTube. And I was speaking about one that I went to go check out. And I'm realizing that the avenues are so vast, right? I was on TikTok and I started seeing this film by a very popular African filmmaker, Chris Q. Khadebe, trending on TikTok, and I was seeing short clips of this film. I'm like, wow, this looks quite interesting, right? Because the quality very, very crisp, the storyline very intriguing, sort of giving us a look between like old school nature of people in like deep rural Zulu areas here in South Africa, and the evolution of women as well in those particular places. And I realized that, okay, I'm going to go check it out on YouTube. And when I went to the YouTube page, what they've done is they've put teasers of the film. So in about 5 parts right now that are on the YouTube page, and I think every week they add a new part, but it's still not the complete film. It's like every episode is a teaser of something bigger. So even when you watch that first episode, it's going to want you to watch the second one, third one, but that's still not the complete film. And that means that there's going to be yet another avenue where the complete film is going to be released. So now you've certainly like taken in the same film
So it's like
on
a teaser.
3 different platforms, right? I watched it on TikTok. That means his TikTok page has now blown up because it's trending. And then I went, because that led me to the YouTube to go watch more. And I went to go watch more. But even that more was a good amount of the story, but still in a teaser version. That means that this is still going to be released for the 3rd time elsewhere. So now I've consumed one thing 3 times, well 2 times so far, but I'm sure there's going to be a 3rd where you can watch the entire thing. And now that means that this person has now not just expanded their viewership, but if there's monetization involved, they've been able to expand the monetization as well. It's incredible.
Yeah, on different platforms, which is wonderful that you can be able to do that. And it's very interesting that you speak of that, because I remember there was a time, I don't know if these PDFs are still around, of books, or people would go to these like published platforms, right?
Yeah.
Where you just get like random writers. It's not like well written, or it's not perfect. The book won't be perfect, right? But then you would have people on their phones reading these books that they find on these platforms, right? And they would send PDFs to one another. And people are just sharing all these books online of just like self-published authors. These people are like, okay, how are you making money out of this? And, one of the authors is like, I'm not trying to make money. I'm trying to just get the word out there and to see if I'm a good writer and people are interested in the story that I'm telling, right?
Yeah.
So it's very interesting to see what the internet offers. I think it's related to yesterday's conversation where we speak about how we can maximize how to use the internet, right? Instead of just scrolling. But can we create content that can be an investment online and probably become a bigger project? Because the example that you're making, that project can be actually adapted maybe later on as a full production on a big international platform. It just depends where the artist wants to take it. So there's so many opportunities there. But we haven't forgotten that I'm leading with Friday Music Q and A, and I'm 4-3 in the lead. Looking forward to today's one. Are you ready to be beaten once again
Well,
this
it's
month?
a brand new month, and this month I have my A game on, and there's no way I'm getting beaten for the month of October.
That's what you said last month, right?
Things are looking up for me. I can already feel it in the air, and I've done what I need to do. I went to go and train, and I've been trained by the highest.
You're sounding like a Kaizer Chiefs fan.
I am a Kaizer Chiefs fan.
Oh, shame,
goodness.
man. No wonder. You're on a losing streak.
Look, I'm going to be winning this month. It's a brand new one, and our Friday music quiz is going to be kickstarting once again. So I'm looking forward to that. Are you Team Palesa? That's the only option I gave you, by the way. There's no Team Ben. Are you Team Palesa? Say yes, and
I'm
we're
sorry
together
about your
forever.
losses. I'm sorry. I feel sorry for you. Well, let's move on right now. We're moving into the second hour of the show, and we're going to be looking at a very cool thing that's happening in Johannesburg, South Africa. It's called the Igbo Spring Camp Johannesburg, and there's a wonderful lady who has Igbo language classes and has like a documentary session and also food festival. And it's an interesting thing because it's happening in South Africa, but it's by a Nigerian. And one would say, why are you doing this? This is not your country. Do this. Go back to Nigeria and do this there. No. That's not the point. The thing about when you move into another country, your culture comes with you, right? But how do you leverage that culture in a new environment, in a foreign land? And how do you also make sure that your people in that land or people of that new country also kind of understand your own culture? And I love that this is kind of a cultural exchange that she is initiating. We'll speak to her a little bit later on the show. But right now it's 10:00 hours Central African time. You're listening to On The Move. Let's quickly move on and get our latest news.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Thank you, Benjamin. Looking at your top stories, Cameroon heads to the polls this Sunday, and Kiev came under a major Russian drone and missile attack overnight. Your latest news. Greetings to our listeners. Cameroon heads to the polls this Sunday with 92-year-old President Paul Biya seeking an 8th term after more than 4 decades in power. His hold on office has long been unshakable, but the opposition remains divided, and questions about electoral fairness and voter security looms large. On the ground in Yaoundé, Channel Africa Moki Kinzeka reports on the mood amongst voters and the challenges facing the country ahead of the elections.
The figures actually increased from about 6 million voters in 2018 when the last elections took place to 8.2 million voters, and the majority of those who increased the population, the number of voters, are youths and women. They decided to register thinking that Maurice Kamto was going to be a candidate. The second thing they decided to swell the voters list was because they thought that Paul Biya was not going to run again. So they are disappointed. Secondly, Maurice Kamto is not there. Civil society groups, opposition party leaders have been moving around, even church leaders, pastors, bishops, they have been moving around encouraging the youth that don't be discouraged. Go and vote what your mind tells you, and maybe there's going to be a change.
The plane carrying the body of South Africa's ambassador to France, Nathi Mthethwa, has landed at the OR Tambo International Airport in Johannesburg. Mthethwa's body was found in a Paris hotel's inner courtyard more than a week ago. President Cyril Ramaphosa has accorded Mthethwa a special official funeral category 2, which will take place in Kwambonambi in the KwaZulu-Natal province on Sunday. Kailihle Khumalo reports.
Air France 990 touchdown here at OR Tambo. It's about 8:44, and obviously there's a sigh of relief for the family members, especially as you know the circumstances around the death. There's still quite a lot of questions, and this regard investigations are still underway. And of course, it doesn't end yet. OR Tambo. This is a transit point. We do understand it's around 1 p.m. That's when they'll be heading to King Shaka International Airport in KwaZulu-Natal, and then thereafter they'll be going down to the northern part of KwaZulu-Natal in Kwambonambi in the homestead.
There is no clarity that the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry will resume its public hearings in Pretoria, South Africa on Monday. It is not clear whether Crime Intelligence Chief Dumisani Khumalo will be able to take the stand on the day. He failed to complete his testimony when he fell ill last month. The committee is investigating allegations of criminal infiltration, corruption, and political interference in the criminal justice system of the country. Khumalo's testimony was beginning to join the dots on serious allegations against Brian Mohotsi, an associate of Police Minister Senzo Mchunu. The commission was delving into the motivation behind Mchunu's decision to disband the political killings task team. Concerns are being raised over a rise in mental health issues in the workplace as South Africa marks World Mental Health Day. Their concerns also come after the 2025 State of the Workforce Mental Health Report. It revealed a stark 24% increase in South African employees reporting work-related mental health issues. The report, which Lyra South Africa compiled, also highlights a support crisis, with almost 90 of the affected workers receiving no assistance. Lyra's managing director is Navelka Taranji.
If we really look at it from a high-level overview perspective, what the data is showing us, stress, burnout, and anxiety levels are at an all-time high. And they're no longer isolated issues. It really is pointing towards a systematic workplace risk. What is driving that is employees are working longer hours. The boundaries are often quite blurred than ever before, and it has to do with the hybrid remote work.
And lastly, officials in Ukraine say the capital Kyiv came under a major Russian drone and missile attack overnight, targeting the city's energy infrastructure. Images shared on online show residential buildings on fire. The BBC's Ian McWilliam.
The mayor of Kyiv, Vitaly Klitschko, said power and water supplies were disrupted in districts east of the Dnipro River, which flows through the heart of the capital. Online video shows large parts of the city in blackout as explosions flicker against the darkness. The mayor said at least 9 people were injured in the attacks. In the southeastern region of Zaporizhia, officials said a 7-year-old child was killed in a separate Russian drone strike.
Recapping on your top stories, Cameroon heads to the polls this Sunday with 92-year-old President Paul Biya seeking an 8th term after more than 4 decades in power. Channel Africa News, I am Onele Tsinzi.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
It's 6 minutes past 10 Central Africa time. This is the second hour of On the Move this Friday. Join us on channelafrica.co.za. That is our website, on the SABC Plus app, and our audio bouquets, DSTV 802 and OpenView 628. Great start. We spoke about film. Today we're speaking in this hour about language, right? And language is increasingly important. Of course, here on the African continent, our languages are so dynamic. and every country here on the African continent has quite a number of languages for most, and these are dynamic because they're also part of preserving our cultures and our traditions. However, when you go and live in a foreign country, it can be so difficult to not just preserve your language, but even more so to, give your language to your next generation. Because of course, if your children are born in a foreign country, they're more likely to speak the languages of that country and less likely to speak the native language that you know. So we'll be speaking about preserving language as a part of preserving culture in this hour of the show. And not just that, right? To make sure that languages move on, even though we are in a very international way of life these days, moving to different countries, trying to explore, but really preserving our cultures as well in that right. So that's coming up in this hour of the show. We're also going to be moving on into the next hour. Hey, we're going to be bringing in the king of Kwaito, who is Arthur Mafokate, to chat to us in the next hour. In this hour as well, it's time for our October 1st music quiz, and today's theme is going to be Kwaito music, so that's going to be exciting.
And Palesa is going to be beaten very nicely on that.
Well, we'll see.
Looking
we'll
forward
see
to that. Hey, Bob Nazombe, thank you for joining us. Alex Nkuku, Lotani Mwale, Khomotso Mukhanedi, Clifford Kadiche, thank you so much to all those joining us on that live stream. Let us know where you're listening to us from. There's so many of you listening to us. You come in and out, but we'd like to know where you listen to Channel Africa from, so we can let the rest of the world know where you are listening to us. Remember, we have those live streams on YouTube at Channel Africa 1 being the handle, and also you can find it on our Facebook page. Hey, interact there as well on our WhatsApp number. +2763 406 9126 is the way to stay in touch with us.
No time to waste. Be on the move with Benjamin Moshatama and Palesa.
Je, una jambo lolote akilini mwako? Je, una shauku kuhusu masuala muhimu? Na je, una maoni ambayo unataka yasikike? Kweli, hili jukwaa ni la kwako. Piga simu, tuandikie kwenda WhatsApp namba alama ya kujumulisha 2760552594 na tutakupigia simu.
Mtangazaji wa habari zetu za Afrika Kusini mjini Johannesburg.
Hivyo unaweza kuwa mshirika kwenye matangazo yetu. Sio mazungumzo tu, ni fursa yako ya kuchangia maoni yako na kushirikiana na jumuiya ya wasikilizaji wanaotamani mtazamo wako. Tufuate kwenye mitandao ya kijamii. Tembelea tovuti yetu www.channelafrica.co.za na uwe tayari kushiriki na kuchangia maoni yako kwenye Channel Africa. Channel Africa, mtazamo wa Kiafrika.
Move into a world of African music. This is Channel Africa.
She come from Sapele, Mr. Checkade. Help me quick, Dada kawa stop for that. May she dance for way. I'm living my best life. Nobody can tell me how I will live my life. Making nobody tell me up. Can't kill it. Can't kill it. Can't kill it. Money can't kill it. Came coming on me way. I used to buy my loud for 2K. The many days where we say Rabba no day. Me back best I found to me shake. You know the vibes stay sharp like every day. You know the bad vibes more like a souffle. Get a perfect picture like a beat, like a dope. No be a dope. It be real life, you sabi say. Assam, follow me wine. I be money chessa. Could you echo? Me I be Power Ranger. 9,000 streets. I'm living my best life.
How I go live my life. Making nobody tell me. Can't kill it. Can't kill it. Can't kill it. Can't kill it.
This is Buju featuring One Day Call, Gengele. It's a beautiful Friday here on The Move, 12 minutes past 10 Central Africa time. Languages are very important to us as African people. In fact, you know, wherever you go on the African continent, when people ask you, like, your name, they'll first ask you, hey, what does that mean? Or, you know, what language is that in and what does that mean? It shows that we've placed quite a lot of importance on our languages and the meanings of our languages. But now we live in a very international environment. We're moving from place to place for better opportunities and many other reasons. So when living in a foreign land often means that we adapt to the new languages of that new place. So these experiences can be enriching, but it can also make it easy to lose touch of one's cultural roots. Preserving your language and heritage becomes not just an act of memory, but an act of identity and keeping alive the values, the stories, and the traditions that shape who we are, especially if you want to pass on your cultures, your traditions, and your languages to the next generation. Today, we're joined by a remarkable Nigerian woman who has dedicated herself to this very mission. Through her online school, she teaches the Igbo language to learners across the world, helping them reconnect with their roots, ensuring that this vibrant language continues to thrive for generations to come. She joins us on the line to chat about this Nyue Mazi. I hope I'm saying that right, Mazi. Am I saying that right?
Munye.
Munye.
Ignore the N. Ignore the N.
Okay. Ignore the N.
Munye.
Wunye. Okay, Wunye, is that how I say it?
Yes.
Okay, I think I must come to the Igbo classes now. It's Wunye Mazi. She's a professional teacher, curriculum expert, and the director of this beautiful language hub that is a registered educational online outlet. She's also the founder of the Igbo Spring Camp, where she does exactly that. She goes around the world and teaches the Igbo language. Wunye, thank you so much for joining us. Good morning.
Ndewo means you're welcome.
Thank you so much. Well, I think this is incredible that you are, you know, a professional teacher, but you wanted to do a teaching of a different kind, one that is preserving your culture and your language as the Igbo people. Tell me why this was so important for you and why you decided to start this avenue of teaching the Igbo language.
So I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Joyce Chiwendo Ohanyerenwa Okonkwo, but I'm fondly and professionally called Munye Mazi. So Munye Mazi means Mazi's wife. So I started teaching the Igbo language in 2017, right after my master's degree in curriculum theory, because I had compassion on children who I call the culturally less privileged. Now, these are the children who are economically privileged. These are children of the rich. These are children who have the privilege of leaving their home country to go to, other countries to become diasporans. You see, I realized that when they come back into the country, sometimes they are lost. Sometimes they get mocked at by those who are home who can actually speak the Igbo language. So I had compassion. And then my first degree was English education. Yeah, so English language education. So at some point as well, I was like, what am I doing with teaching somebody else's father's language when my own father's language has been predicted to be going into extinct over time by UNESCO? So I decided to look inward. They say charity begins at home.
Wunye, it's so fascinating that you did
Wunye
that.
Mazi.
Yes.
Wunye Mazi.
Yes, Wunye Mazi. My fascination about this is that you saw a gap in what's happening in a foreign land, right? Like you in South Africa, in Johannesburg specifically, and you see that there is a bit of a deficit in terms of Nigerian children or even families that have been here for a long time in South Africa, and they don't really, have that Igbo language as part of their vocabulary since they started living here in South Africa. In terms of language and its importance, why was it for you something that was significant for you to keep that entrenched even in a foreign land?
Okay, so actually, I live in Nigeria.
Okay.
So my passion pushed me to come into Johannesburg for the Igbo Spring Camp.
Okay, makes sense now. Sure.
Yes. So my dream is to travel, just like you had earlier said, all over the world, organizing camps. Even though we have our online school, yes, we teach online, but we want these children to touch, feel, see it physically, in the camping programs, not just, what we do online. We want them to come and have a real touch of culture. So the only way I could do this was pushing myself out of my comfort zone, leaving home, coming to Johannesburg. So the dream is not just in South Africa. The dream is going to Canada, to UK, to USA. In fact, anywhere we are called, we will arrive. That's just the dream.
You know, Onyemaze, you say something that's so important, right? Because what we see as privilege these days is obviously the money. We see the ability to travel as privilege. And unfortunately, we've also seen foreign languages as privilege within our own country. So when your child is young and they only speak English or they only speak French, we see that as, wow, this child is so smart. This child, is so privileged in so many ways. But when you say they are not privileged culturally, it makes so much sense. And we see that as it's okay. And I feel like as the generations move on and are growing and evolution, and the evolution is taking place, we're moving further and further away from those cultures and traditions. So when you decided to do these camps, whether online or in different countries, what else do you teach outside of the language? And how do you make sure that these young people can connect their languages to their cultures and their traditions?
So beyond the language, thank you for that question. Beyond the language, we teach the children how to cook the Igbo meals. Yes, we teach them how to eat it, because it is one thing to cook the meal. It's another thing to, it's another thing for the children to appreciate the meal by eating them. So like when we did the Igbo summer camp in Nigeria, we brought in some health professionals, some chefs, some Igbo chef who came in, and who came in and taught the children the nutritional value of our traditional meals. We Africans, we eat a whole lot of, we like vegetables, we like naturally prepared meals, but because of the times we are in, our children are already addicted to sweet things, they have sweet tooth, so we have to start teaching them to eat the Igbo vegetables, to appreciate our spices. We also teach the children our dancing steps. Okay, so they have different contemporary secular dance moves, which kind of is different from the African, although some of them even came from the African dance moves, from the Igbo dance moves. So we try to teach them the Igbo dance moves. We try to teach them our history. We try to teach them our dressing and why we put on what we put on, what the men put on and what the women put on, and more.
Wonderful. Wunye, stay there on the line. We're speaking to Onyemaze, professional teacher, curriculum expert, and director of Pakpando Language Hub, which is an educational online outlet that aims to teach the Igbo language. How fascinating. We'll chat a little bit more about this project that Onyemaze does after the break.
Step into the heart of the day on the move with Palesa and Benjamin. Ahoy, matey!
Captain here to help, right, boys?
Set sail with us on a digital voyage like no other. Channel Africa has a treasure trove of awesomeness. That is our website and social media pages.
Tell me, why are you here?
We want you to be part of our adventure.
The winds are changing, Captain. And this time...
Imagine a world where curiosity knows no bounds, where entertainment meets enlightenment, and where every click leads to the African perspective. Visit us on our website, www.channelafrica.co.za, or follow us on Instagram, or On X at Channel Africa One. Go on, like us on Facebook at Channel Africa One. So, spread the word. Tell a friend that Channel Africa's online variety is what they need on the web. Channel Africa, the African perspective. No time to waste. Be on the move with Benjamin Moshatama and Palesa.
Hey, we're speaking language and its importance today, zooming into the Igbo summer camp, which offers a unique opportunity for children to connect with their cultural exploration, specifically of the Igbo culture. It's organized by Unwe Mazi, and it aims to promote the Igbo culture, teaching children the language, the traditional dances, songs and crafts, and also the food, as she's elaborated upon. Let's speak about why parents bring these kids to your spring camps, or maybe the online platform. What do you hear mainly being the concern of the parents?
Yes, thank you for that question. Their major concern has always been that the children would not lose touch of their culture. Yes, because if they lost touch of the culture, they would not want to come back home. And if their parents have had any investments back home, it's gone over time. When they are no longer here, the children would be afraid to go home. So most times parents just want their children to get in touch with their culture, begin to look homeward, begin to appreciate what they have invested for them homeward. So that basically is why most parents do not want their children. That's why basically most children bring their children to us. So by the time the children learn the language, they have this cultural confidence to come home because they know they're going to be able to understand, communicate, and be able to bond with their family and friends back home. So that is actually the main reason why parents bring them to us, connecting back with their roots.
Do the kids have a tough time navigating what they already know? Probably they are English speakers, or maybe they speak French, and now they have to learn this new language. How do you deal with the challenges of shifting to something new, something that they want to know because it is their culture? I'm sure they're very interested in it, but the tongue can be a little bit stubborn.
Yeah, I understand. So there's something what I call flattening the tongue, especially for my students in the US. So I understand where they are coming from, knowing that they're already used to the American English, they are used to the British English. Even the children here in South Africa, they are used to the South African intonation of speaking English. So what we do, because I'm a curriculum expert, I'm also a language expert, what we do is that we first of all flatten their tongue by making them practice different Igbo words. We have a procedure. When they come to class, we have a way to guide them in love, knowing that they're actually trying their best, even though it is difficult. So we try to go through the process of tongue flattening, where we help them bring back their tongue to normal, and then try to migrate it to the Igbo language. It's a whole lot of technical processes. We do it, but the children don't even know what we're doing while we're doing it. It's just that over time, maybe after 2 months, after 3 months, parents realize their children are now speaking the Igbo language fluently.
Where would you like to see this going, Wunyemaze? Where do you want to see young Igbo Nigerian people and the descendants of, Nigerians understanding about the world, understanding about a Nigerian or Igbo culture and traditions?
I want it to go global. So I am doing the Igbo language because I am Igbo. So I believe that if I am doing the one of Igbo, other people from other culture will also pick interest in promoting their own cultures. I strongly believe in something called cultural education. We do not have cultural schools. What I own is a cultural school. Okay, so I want other tribes to also pick interest in having this concept, creating cultural schools where people come into their classes or their schools to learn their culture. Also, I want Africa to wake up to the need of having different cartoon stations where we can help these children through different animations to learn their languages. So it's not just going to Disney or Cartoon Network. They also come to their own. We come to that level where children turn on the television and they go to this particular station to watch their languages, to learn their languages by watching different animations or cartoons. So I want it to become a global phenomenon. I want it to become something global where we have the cultural school and we have the Western education as well.
Mm-hmm. What keeps you so passionate about this? Because I can hear the passion in your voice. It's actually like a fire that's burning within you. You can hear it how you're expressing this. Why are you so passionate about this?
I do not want my children to lose touch of their culture. I do not want the Igbo language to get lost over time.
That's beautiful. Okay, so you're going to be doing some stuff here in Johannesburg, right? Tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing and some of your plans for your spring camp here in South Africa. Okay, I think we've lost you there. Wunye, are you there? Wunye, can you hear me? Well, I think we've lost Wunye there, but we'll give you the details of what this actually looks like, and it's going to be happening here in Johannesburg, South Africa. We're going to wrap that one up right now. And, I was thinking about this. I'm traditionally like a Venda Bali, right?
Yeah.
And I was speaking to a friend the other day over lunch. I'm like, I actually don't know my Venda language because I was raised by my mother's side, which is a Tswana family. I'm like, I want to actually, because I have a son now, go through the process of learning Venda with him. Of course, when he's at the appropriate age. But I think I need to start earlier, right?
Yes.
And find ways in which I can learn. And, she was also telling me about this, that there are these kind of camps that happen for children and parents where they can learn the indigenous languages.
Oh.
Some of them are in Tsonga, some of them are in Tswana, or Zulu, authentic Zulu, because the Joburg Zulu is a bit
it's not
dodgy.
the real thing.
Yeah. So I'm interested in actually this kind of concept. I think it's very beautiful, and it's happening in different parts of the world differently. So coming back to this Igbo Spring Camp, it's going to be taking place in Johannesburg, and it's going to be really, diverse in terms of 12 Igbo language classes, documentary sessions, and also there's going to be an Igbo kitchen session, so that should be fantastic. Check out our guests' Instagram for more details. It is Igbo Tunes. Igbo Tunes is the place to go on Instagram.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're about to wrap up. I think this is quite an intriguing conversation. The way she speaks about having cultural schools, we don't have enough of those. And we do see, how easily as Africans we adapt to other people's cultures, other people's languages, other people's food, but we don't see our own as a part of a beautiful evolution. We don't see it as privilege. And I think that's what these are bringing back the privilege of your own culture.
Did you hear Wunye at the end there when she was overwhelmed? I think it got
got overwhelmed. She even dropped the call. She was like, hey, my heart is too full. I'm too happy about this. Well, we're also happy that she joined us today to speak about this. It's 10:30 Central Africa time. Let's bring back Musibudi Makura for our latest sports news.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Thank you so much, Palesa. Very good morning once again from the sports desk. We'll start with cricket news. So Nadine de Klerk hit a blistering, unbeaten 84 from 54 balls as South Africa produced a stunning comeback to beat the co-host India by 3 wickets at the Women's ODI World Cup. So having slipped to 81 for 5 in reply to India's 251 all out, the Proteas looked destined for a second defeat in 3 games before de Klerk's intervention. Now the all-rounder dismantled an increasingly bewildered India attack, launching 5 sixes on 7 balls to spare. So Captain Laura Wolfhard started the South African recovery, hitting a patient 70 from 111 balls with her 61-run stand alongside Chloe Traon, laying the foundation for de Klerk's late onslaught. Now Traon, who made 49 from 66 balls, put on another 69 with de Klerk in quick time before the latter saw the job through to leave Indian fans as well as the players alike wondering just how the game slipped through their fingers. So that result means South Africa go level on points with India, who missed the chance to go top of the table after suffering their first defeat at this year's tournament. In tennis news now, Novak Djokovic remains on course to win the 5th Shanghai Masters title after beating Zezo Bergs 6-3, 7-5 in the quarterfinals yesterday. Now, Djokovic was last crowned Shanghai champion back in 2018 and forced the only break of the opening set in the 6th game. So Belgian Bergs saved 5 Djokovic set points on his own serve in the 8th game, only for the Serbian to close out the set in the next game. Now, 2 match points were saved by Bergs in the 12th game, but it was third time lucky for Djokovic, who closed out the victory after an hour and 52 minutes on court and advanced to the semi-finals of this year's tournament. Still on tennis news, Iga Swiatek battled her way to a straight sets victory over 13 seed Belinda Bencic at the Wuhan Open on Thursday, coming out on top 7-6 and 6-4 in the third round meeting. Now, Switzerland's Bencic had to fight back to level from an early 3-love deficit, then broke Swiatek for a second time in the 9th game before serving out for the opening set. Now, second seed Swiatek broke straight back through and also in the next 2 games went with a serve and dominated the ensuing tiebreak. Now, there was another trade of back-to-back breaks in the early games of the second set, but Swiatek converted her 3rd break point of the 7th game, then dropped just 1 point over to her next 2 service games to wrap up that win. So the Pole, who is seeking to win a 4th title of 2025, will next meet Yasmin Paolini in the quarterfinals of this year's tournament. On to netball news now. Jenny van Dijk, the head coach of South Africa's netball team, says they want to conclude their series against Australia on a positive note. So South Africa will face off with the Diamonds of Australia in the 3rd and final match tomorrow, with the hosts leading the series currently 2-0.
For us, for this final test match, it's very important to finish strong. Yes, we have lost the series, but for us, it's really about learning from our mistakes and giving a solid performance as we did at the end of the New Zealand series. So that's what we're definitely looking to do.
Right, so that's a wrap from the sports desk at the SAWA. For any sports stories you'd like to share with us, remember to send us an email. That's to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. That's newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Alternatively, give us a call. The newsroom line is +27 11714 4459. +27 11714 4459. Well, that concludes your sports news this hour. I'm back with the final sports update in the 3rd and final hour of On the Move for Channel Africa Sport. I am Mosibudi Makura.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Siyabangena manje. Vito Jabulani Nkolele iMagoda. Jabulani is a young man from Giyani in Limpopo in South Africa. Very easy guy, taking things easy. To know me is to know that I love what I do, which I'm crazy about it. So when you hear me on radio, expect the best. Expect great music. Expect great content. Expect 180 minutes of nothing but fun. You'll find me on the morning reset, 3 to 6 a.m., Monday to Friday. Siyabangena baba. Ay. Mbuleke.
All right, thank you so much, Musi Budi. We're looking there at our socials on YouTube. Ipioma Martins Aligwe says, I love your passion, Wunywe Manzi. It seems like we're not the only ones who felt that passion there, so thank you for giving us your commentary there, Ipuema. Let's move on right now and get our latest business news.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Thank you, Benjamin. Good morning. The Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, COMESA, has launched a digital payment system aimed at cutting transaction costs. This system will enable businesses to settle deals in local currencies. The digital retail payments platform is kickstarting trials in Malawi and Zambia. Tado Litsaba has more.
21 member states, including Egypt, Kenya, and Ethiopia, has introduced a digital payment system which will allow local currency payment systems to cut trade costs by eliminating the conversion of local currencies into hard currencies for cross-border payments. The initiative seeks to assist medium, small, and micro enterprises who account for 80% of businesses and 60% of employment in member state. The system aims to keep costs under 3% of value of the transaction.
The International Monetary Fund says that a staff visit to Kenya took stock of the latest macroeconomic developments and discussed reforms that could pave the way for a new program. In a statement, the IMF says the policy priorities include measures to enhance fiscal policy credibility and ensure sustainability of public finances and debt. Kenya's $3.6 billion program with the IMF expired earlier this year, and some officials have expressed interest in getting a new one that will include a lending component. South African Director General of the National Treasury, Duncan Pieterse, says the country is on track to meet its two main fiscal targets this year, stabilizing its public debt and increasing the size of its primary budget surplus. The South African economy has struggled to curb rising public debt after more than a decade of runaway spending that outpaced revenue growth. But this year's the fiscal picture looks much better, with Treasury data for the first 5 months of the 2025-26 financial year showing revenue is up more than 10% and spending only about 4%. Pieterse says spending has slowed in part because of the protracted approval of this year's main budget, which was held up for months by political wrangling between the two main coalition partners, the African National Congress and the Democratic Alliance. The Johannesburg Stock Exchange, the JSE, has announced that its CEO Leila Fourie will retire at the end of March next year. Fourie has been CEO since 2019 and has been praised for having led the JSE with strategic clarity and an unwavering commitment to transformation. JSE Chairman Phuthuma Nhleko says under Fourie's leadership, the stock exchange achieved a turnaround in earnings quality, successfully diversified its revenue profile, and modernized its core technology and regulatory frameworks. Valdin Reddy, the current Director of Capital Markets, will take over as CEO from April 2026, subject to regulatory approval. And the U.S. has purchased Argentine pesos, taking the next step in a controversial effort to calm a currency crisis hitting the South American country and its president. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent announced the purchase on social media while saying the U.S. has finalized terms of a planned $20 billion financial rescue for the country. The announcement helped boost the peso and Argentine debt on financial markets, but renewed debate in the U.S., where the decision to extend financial support to Argentina at a time of spending cuts at home has drawn scrutiny. Now let's have a look at financial indicators at this hour. $1 in Nigeria is trading at 1,472 naira. In Botswana, 13 pula 20. Kenya, the dollar is 128 shilling 483. Zambia, 23 kwacha 24. BRICS countries, $1 in Brazil is at 5.35. In Russia, 81 rubles 26. India, 88 rupee 80. China, 71.13. South Africa, 17 rand 16 cents. $1 is 74 pence to the British pound, 86 to the euro. Looking at commodities, gold is at $3,963, platinum at $1,596 per ounce. The price of Brent crude oil at $64.80 a barrel. That is all for now. For any business stories you'd like to share with us, please send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za, or you can call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa Business, I am Chanduko Ligege.
Business News on Channel Africa. The African Perspective. No fairy tales, just the facts and the music you love on Channel Africa.
All right, 10:44. That's Azishe by MFR Souls. They're taking us to 10:44 Central African time. It's competition time. It's us to really get competitive. And I'm ahead 4-3 in this one. And we've been tied for a very long time. This is the first breakout, and it's going to be consistent from now on. Pirates versus Chiefs. Let's go.
It is time for the Friday music quiz. In the final hour, we're bringing in the king of Kwaito to chat to us. That's Athama Fukate. But that's why we decided to go on the Kwaito theme for today's music quiz. And it is time to go. First week of October. And it's time for me to beat Benjamin, of course. So let's go.
Dreams.
It's time for the music quiz. Are you ready?
I'm ready, as
Question
always.
number 1. Kwaito music emerged in South Africa during which decade? Is it the 1970s, the 1980s, the 1990s, or the 2000s?
I'll go with the 1990s.
That is correct.
This is how you win, man. This is how you ever.
Question 2. Kwaito developed mainly in which South African township? Umlazi, Alexandra, Soweto, or Khayelitsha?
I'll go with Soweto.
That is correct. Which of these artists is often called the king of Kwaito? Is it?
Athama Fukate.
That is correct, yes. The word Kwaito is derived from the Afrikaans word meaning party, angry or hot-tempered, dance or cool.
Angry or hot-tempered one.
That is correct.
It's Kwai, man.
Which female artist is often celebrated as the queen of Kwaito? Is it Lebo Matosa, Brenda Fassie, Chomi, or Boom Shaka?
I'll go with Lebo Matosa.
That is correct.
5
out of 5. I think you got really easy questions. So if my questions are hard, I'm going to be upset. I'm going to be angry. Okay.
Very easy.
Let's go.
Yours are even easier than mine, man.
I doubt it.
You got this, but you're not going to beat this.
Let's see.
All right, man. Which group released the popular Kwaito track Shibobo featuring soccer star Benny McCarthy?
TKZ.
Yeah, that's the one. What makes Kwaito distinct from American house music despite similar beats? Is it the faster tempo? Is it the political lyrics? Is it the slower rhythm and local slang lyrics? Is it the use of traditional African drums?
I'll go with the slow rhythm and African slang.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Okay. It's tight. Which of these Kwaito stars later transitioned into acting and TV presenting? Is it Mdu? Is it Zola? Is it Tebe? Is it Kabelo Mabala?
It's Zola.
Yes, that's the one. See? Just waiting for one misstep. It's on the way. Kwaito culture was closely linked to which generation of post-apartheid youth? Is it Generation X? Is it the Born Frees? Is it the Baby Boomers or the Millennials?
Oh, what's the generation before ours? What came before millennials?
Baby Boomers.
The Millennials.
The Millennials.
No?
Yeah,
Is it the Baby Boomers?
Yeah. You messed it up, man. It's the Born Frees, Bali.
The Born Frees, but when are the Born Frees born?
They're born during the 1985 era.
But I asked what came before the Millennials?
The Millennials, what you said?
We are, so you and I are Millennials, right?
Yeah.
And then before us were Baby Boomers. And after us are...
We are technically called the Born Frees.
But that's not a generation that is... I mean,
that's the answer
generations are Millennials, Baby Boomers, Gen Zs. A Born Free is not a
I don't know.
It's not a generation.
Let's research that one. Let's hold it on pause, but it's wrong.
It's wrong, guys.
Of which statements?
That one
okay, let's move on. Shy as cat. Bye.
Okay.
Which of these statements best describe Kwaito's legacy in South African music? Okay, it was short-lived and left no impact. It opened doors for modern genres like amapiano and gqom. It was only popular in Johannesburg. It was banned for political reasons.
I'd say it opened doors.
Yes, that's the one. So technically I win, but we need to. Yeah, no, you have
that
a point.
one.
We have to figure
guys.
out if the born frees were either millennials or born
Right,
frees.
so maybe we can look that up. If born frees are millennials, then essentially I'm right.
Yeah, but if they're baby boomers,
Yeah, then we'll see. The born frees can't be baby boomers. Baby boomers were not born free.
but are they the millennials though?
Yes, I mean that's our generation, and Kwaito got popularized within the baby booming generation.
Producer, please sort that
Producer,
out.
can you give us
Because
VAR? Give us VAR on that one. Give us VAR. We need VAR on
Yeah,
that
we
one.
need VAR.
Which generation were the born frees born?
Buddy,
Are
how
they
about
baby
Ufe,
boomers or
like?
are they millennials? It cannot be. It cannot be. We need VAR on that one. Please, producer, give us VAR on that one. We'll find out what the VAR says after this.
Hard loser.
Africa. It's time to plug into the heartbeat of the continent. Tune in to Channel Africa, your go-to radio station that broadcasts in 5 different languages.
L'Afrique du Sud célèbre la journée nationale du
Kabla hujaitwa kwa jina la Double K or more of our forests have been destroyed.
Tamo Partido Africano da Independência da Guiné.
See, Channel Africa represents every corner of this amazing land. From Lagos to Cape Town, Nairobi to Dakar, we've got you covered with the freshest news, music, and cultures. So, turn up the volume, feel the rhythm. Enjoy the conversation. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Are you fluent in French, Chinyanja, Portuguese, and Kiswahili? Are you passionate about radio? And are you looking to work in South Africa? Do you have papers that qualify you to work in South Africa? In that case, we might have an opportunity for you to work for Channel Africa. Send us your CV and demo at newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Remember, if you don't hear from us within 14 days, it means you have not made it or you have not been selected. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Get set and be ready to go. On the move with Palesa and Benjamin Moshatama.
Yeah, jiggy jiggy, heavy heavy. All the girls love me, oh like money. Call me jiggy jiggy, heavy heavy. All eyes on me. Machiavelli, girl, you got me spitting, yeah yeah. Doing 240 on Lecky Ekpe. With it top down, no do gra gra. You be drinking and the dirty money is stinking. Girl, you got me spitting, yeah yeah. Doing 240 on Lecky Ekpe. With it top down, all the shit bio bio. Hey da da, no do gra gra, no do. You know they call me Fella in Versace. Fella in Versace. Fella in Versace, yeah yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fella in Versace. Fella in Versace. Fella in Versace, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Big shot, superstar, punish shot, finish shot, call again, body car.
You want more like Bolivar.
Big shot, superstar, punish shot, finish shot.
Like two baba, ready set, don't bruise my heart, delicate. I saw you standing there. Is the flashing lights gonna make me lose my way?
Mail, this a baby, yeah. 18 every year. All my G's in the every year. I'm number 1 in the million. Yeah, like a fish and chips. From the north to the southwest and east, South Africa, yeah, tada. She gon' blow my cheeks. Fella in Versace, Mandela in a Rari. Rubber bands, where you get them from? Motherland, M-Sons.
Yeah, jiggy jiggy, heavy heavy. All the girls love me, oh like money. Call me jiggy jiggy, heavy heavy. All eyes on me. Machiavelli, girl, you got me spitting, yeah yeah. Doing 240 on Lecky Ekpe. With it top down, no do gra gra. You be drinking and the dirty money is stinking. Girl, you got me spitting, yeah yeah. Doing 240 with the top down, all the shape, yo. Hey, da, no do, gra, no do. You know they call me Fella in Versace. Fella in Versace. Fella in Versace, yeah. Fella in Versace. Fella in Versace. Fella in Versace, yeah.
Ooh, Nana, don't stress. I'm just looking out for your breasties. Me and this squad been besties. Tell me which blood clot boy won't test me, cause I came a long way. Now I'm flexing. I can tell you watch fake, like wrestling. I'm a smooth criminal. Took her to the mall, up a ball like Eagle Net. Sexy, she call me Olga. FC Barcelona. Timepiece, the pneumonia. Sweet melanin, Coca-Cola. Big shot, superstar. Punisher, finisher. Call again, bodyguard.
You want more like Bolivar.
Big shot, superstar. Punisher, finisher. Like two baba. Ready, set, don't bruise my heart. Delicate. Fella in Versace. Mandela in a Rari. Rubber bands, where you get them from? Motherland, MZs.
Jiggy, heavy. All the girls love me, oh, like money. Call me jiggy, heavy. All eyes on me. Machiavelli, girl, you got me spinning, yeah. Doing 240 on Lecky Ekpe. With the top down, no do.
Turn the mics on. Turn the mics on.
Versace
turn the mics
AKA.
on. I am crashing out. I will crash out today. Turn the mics on. Because that question is not the one. And I refuse to lose this week's quiz because of that. This is a technicality. Don't laugh,
I can't believe
Benjamin.
you crashing out like I crashed out.
I am crashing out today. And I think my crash out is valid.
You lost.
Let's go
buddy.
back. I didn't lose. I refuse. I refuse to lose.
You must see the fingers in the air.
Technicality.
I did not lose.
I refuse to lose because of a technicality. And this technicality is essentially against me. Because when we speak...
Are you crashing out, dude?
I have to crash out.
Dude,
and
you
I
can
refuse
catch
to
up
lose.
next week.
No.
You
There's no
can,
catching
Joe.
up. There's no catching up, guys. There's no catching up.
You're gonna lose.
There is no
You're gonna
catching
lose your job
up.
crashing up
There
on
is
air.
no
You know
crashing out. There's no losing. There's no way that I'm losing, and I am. I feel like my crash out is valid, and anyone who agrees with me must let me know.
Okay, you know what? I have to be honest with this one, right? It was a technicality, right? Because this question is, Kwaito culture was closely linked to which generation of post-apartheid youth, right?
Yes.
And it's given you 4 options.
Yeah.
Generation X, Born Frees, Baby Boomers, and Millennials. The technicality is that which generation of post-apartheid youth?
Yeah.
And you said millennials.
Right.
Millennials and the answer is Born Frees.
Yeah.
Millennials are the first generation of Born Frees are the first generation of millennials.
Linked to what? To the genre
millennials.
of Kwaito as
Yes,
well,
yes.
right? So essentially, millennials are Born Frees, but they are the
But
ones.
why didn't you go for Born Frees?
No, because they asked me which generation. Millennials are a generation, and
Born Frees
millennials
are also a generation.
Yes, but millennials are the generation that are closely linked to the genre of
But
Kwaito.
you missed the of post-apartheid youth.
But who is post-apartheid youth? Gen Zs? Are Gen Zs linked to Kwaito? Absolutely not.
But Gen Zs is not an option there.
It is. What do they say? Generation X, millennials,
yeah.
Gen Zs, and...
No, not Gen Zs. Baby
what?
boomers.
Baby boomers and...
Baby boomers and millennials.
Right.
Yeah.
Millennials are the one... Is the right answer still?
No.
Yes.
Of post-apartheid youth.
Millennials are closely linked to... Hey, technical producer. Don't try me today.
All right, let's move things on. Pali lost today. She just has to go for it.
I
she
refuse
just has
to
to
lose. I refuse.
Accept it, right?
I do not accept.
So it's
just
a great
tell
win
me, guys,
for me.
I don't exist. I do not.
There are some.
I don't.
There are some games that are won via technicality, Bali.
I
you
refuse.
Need to accept this.
I do not accept. I do not accept the results of this week's quiz, and I will outrightly say, for every week, I will not accept the outcome of this week's quiz.
Okay, we'll review it off air and see what we can do to make it up to Bali, because she's being a sore loser.
I don't care, but
it's
this
my
week,
turn to call you a sore loser. I never thought that day would come. All right, let's move on into the final hour. It's 1100 hours Central African time. Let's get the latest news.
This is what I say before we go to the news.
Okay.
Because we're bringing in the king of Kwaito and we'll be chatting to him in the next hour. As the king of Kwaito, he gets to choose if our answer is correct or incorrect.
No, I'm not for
He's
that.
the king of Kwaito and our genre is Kwaito. So I think if Arthur Mafokate says that I am correct, then we draw. And if Arthur Mafokate says I lose, then I will take my loss.
We're moving on. Let's get the news.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Thank you, Benjamin. Looking at your top stories, South Sudan president removes the country's military chief and Israeli bombardment continues in Gaza. Your latest news. Greetings to our listeners. South Sudan President Salva Kiir has removed the country's military chief and reinstated his predecessor, whom Kiir had sacked 3 months earlier. The South Sudan Broadcasting Corporation announced that Kiir had appointed Paul Nang Majok to replace Dao Aturjong as the new Chief of Defense Forces without providing a reason for the decision. In July, Kiir had, without explanation, sacked Majok after 7 months in the post and replaced him with Aturjong. That decision came after renewed fighting in the northeast, in which the military was briefly overrun by a militia from Mashar's newer ethnic group. The plane carrying the body of South Africa's ambassador to France, Nathi Mthethwa, has landed at the OR Tambo International Airport in Johannesburg. Mthethwa's body was found in a Paris hotel's inner courtyard more than a week ago. President Cyril Ramaphosa has accorded Mthethwa a special official funeral category 2, which will take place in KwaMbonambi in the KwaZulu-Natal province on Sunday. Kailihle Khumalo reports.
Air France 990 touchdown here at OR Tambo. It's about 8:44, and obviously there's a sigh of relief for the family members, especially as you know the circumstances around the death. There's still quite a lot of questions, and this regard investigations are still underway. And of course, it doesn't end yet, OR Tambo. This is a transit point. We do understand it's around 1 p.m. That's when they'll be heading to King Shaka International Airport in KwaZulu-Natal, and then thereafter they'll be going down to the northern part of KwaZulu-Natal in KwaMbonambi in the homestead.
South Africa's National Police Commissioner Fani Masemola has resumed his testimony before Parliament's ad hoc committee established to investigate allegations of criminal infiltration, corruption and political interference in the criminal justice system. Yesterday, he said Police Minister Senzo Mchunu, who is on special leave, did not inform him about the disbandment of the KwaZulu-Natal Province Political Killings Task Team. Masemola said he only became aware of the disbandment through a letter sent to him when he was on leave. Cameroon heads to the polls this Sunday, with 92-year-old President Paul Biya seeking an 8th term after more than 4 decades in power. His hold on office has long been unshakable, but the opposition remains divided, and questions about electoral fairness and voter security looms largely. On the ground in Yaoundé, Channel Africa Moki Kinzeka reports on the mood amongst voters and the challenges facing the country ahead of the elections.
The figures actually increased from about 6 million voters in 2018 when the last elections took place to 8.2 million voters. And the majority of those who increased the population, the number of voters, are youths and women. They decided to register thinking that Maurice Kamto was going to be a candidate. The second thing they decided to swell the voters list was because they thought that Paul Biya was not going to run again. So they are disappointed. Secondly, Maurice Kamto is not there. Civil society groups, opposition party leaders have been moving around, even church leaders, pastors, bishops, they have been moving around encouraging the youth that don't be discouraged. Go and vote what your mind tells you, and maybe there's going to be a change.
Reports suggest that Israeli bombardment has continued in Gaza. This is despite a U.S. brokered ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas. Under the agreement, the Israeli military will partially withdraw from Gaza within 24 hours. Hamas will then have 72 hours to release all Israeli hostages, dead and alive, while Israel will release hundreds of Palestinian prisoners in exchange. Sar Shaf is a Gaza resident who's living in a tent in Khan Yunis.
Until now, until this moment, we heard pumping all night, and this moment, the airstrike still continue in many places on Gaza.
Recapping on your top stories, South Sudan's President Salva Kiir has removed the country's military chief and reinstated his predecessor, whom Kiir had sacked 3 months earlier. For any news stories you'd like to share with us, please send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us at +27 11 714 4459. Channel Africa News, I'm Onele Tsinzi.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
All right, we have come to a resolution that Bali has lost today.
No, there was no resolution. Which resolution was this one? I don't remember that resolution. Don't try me, Benji.
Okay, off air, we'll deal with this, Bali. We need to behave. We have the King of Kwaito waiting for us. We're going to be speaking to the King of Kwaito himself. That's why we were doing our music quiz today on Kwaito, because Arthur Mafukate is going to join us today. It's going to be exciting.
It is going to be exciting indeed. The King of Kwaito, someone who really has played a pivotal role in the evolution of South African music and the South African music industry. So it's only a pleasure to really get to understand what goes on in the mind behind the man who really was part of a huge evolution in African music. It's 6 minutes past 11 Central Africa time. We're in the third hour of On the Move with myself, Palesa and Benjamin Moshatama. So come in, it's going to be quite exciting. We're streaming live on Facebook. We are Channel Africa there, and we're streaming live on YouTube as well, Channel Africa 1. All our other platforms are open as well. The SABC Plus app, our audio bouquets, DSTV channel 802, OpenView HD channel 628, and our website www.channelafrica.co.za. Are you ready for a Friday Kwaito experience? It's coming.
Yeah.
No time to waste. Be on the move with Benjamin Moshatama and Palesa.
I say I put in 10 toes, now I don't blow. If that chick bad, I go carry her. My neck is cold, I don't condone. No bad energies, I run here. Yeah. Got a whole lot of vibes and a whole lot of bad girls and a whole lot of. Give me a wine and a whole lot of aye. I say we come with the vibes and a whole lot of bad girls and a whole lot of. She give me wine and a whole lot of aye.
But I got it confidential. Only was an instrumental, yeah. Give me brains and intellectual. Nothing easy, coincidental, yeah. If the girl says she wanted, I got a whole lot of him. I got a whole lot of him. I know fit a whole lot of him. Aye. Girl, I'm not sober. Let me see ice and soda, day. Many things they go down. If you're around me, I'm my soldiers, yeah. Girl, you think that you want to? I got a whole lot of him. I got a whole lot of him. I know fit a whole lot of him. Aye.
I say I put it on toe, I don't blow. If that chick bad, I go carry her. My neck is cold, I don't condone. No bad energies, I run here. Yeah. Got a whole lot of vibes and a whole lot of bad girls and a whole lot of. Give me a wine and a whole lot of aye. I say we come with the vibes and a whole lot of bad girls and a whole lot of. She give me wine and a whole lot of aye. Girl, you know I rock with you. nothing contest, yeah. Because your back and your front to be damages. And when you put it on me, girl, I can't resist. You go feel this thing tonight. I say I put in 10 toes, now I don't blow. If that chick bad, I go carry her. My neck is cold, I don't condone. No bad energies, I run it up. Got a whole lot of vibes in her.
Hey, this one is giving us that weekend mood, right? King Promise with O Malay. This one is titled Toes. It's 10 minutes past 11 o'clock Central African time. We're going down memory lane after the break. Hang out with Athama Fokate, also known as the King of Kwaito. Definitely, we remember that debut album, Windy Windy, with so many hits. We'll come back after the break and chat with the legend.
Africa, voici Abedi.
Oui, c'est moi.
Abedi est un passionné de musique dans l'âme. Il a un goût pour toutes sortes de musique et passe ses journées à écouter Channel Africa.
J'aime beaucoup la musique africaine.
Ok. Devinez quoi? Channel Africa veut aider Abedi et les mélomanes du monde entier à découvrir encore plus de musique incroyable. C'est pourquoi Channel Africa appelle les artistes africains à soumettre leur musique. Chers artistes, n'oubliez pas de nous fournir toutes vos informations pertinentes à l'email adresse musique@channelafrica.co.za. Les soumissions sont votre chance d'être entendues, mais elles ne garantissent pas une playlist. Toutes les soumissions seront soigneusement examinées pour voir si elles répondent aux exigences de notre station. Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
Step into the heart of the day on the move with Palesa and Benjamin. No time to waste. Be on the move with Benjamin Moshatama and Palesa Tao. Get set and be ready to go. On the move with Palesa Tao and Benjamin Moshatama.
All right, man. Now we're going to be hanging out with the legend himself, Athama Fokate. Definitely one of the pioneers of that genre that emerged in the advent of the new democracy of South Africa. And with his 1994 debut album, Windy Windy, we know that it included many hits here. And remember that very controversial one, Bali. Are we allowed to even say the name of that song?
Which one? Okay, wait, tell me quickly.
The K word.
No, we're not allowed to say it.
To say the
no,
K word.
no,
but that
no.
actually created a lot of controversy.
Yeah.
But you know what? Athama Fokate wasn't just known for his, expression of this particular genre, but he became very much of a businessman in the later stages of his career, formed a stable in itself that was actually pioneering others who were part of this wonderful genre. Athama Fokate joins us on the line. King of Kwaito, welcome on the show.
Good day, Benji. Good day, Palesa. How are you guys?
Doing good.
We're doing very good. I want to get your thoughts on this quiz that we just had earlier on, right? We have a quiz every day on a genre, and today we were looking at Kwaito. What do you think about this question? Okay, I was asking Palesa, Kwaito culture was closely linked to which generation of post-apartheid youth? All right, we've got four options, right? Generation X, B is Born Frees, C is Baby Boomers, D is Millennials. King of Kwaito, what is the answer of that question?
Before I answer that question, what are Baby Boomers?
So the generation before millennials.
Which years?
Okay, so let me go back to the answers I have. So baby boomers are from 1946 until, let's see, okay, here. So baby boomers are from 1946 to 1964.
All right.
Millennials are from 1981 to 1996. And and then born freeze essentially is just the term that means post 1994.
So it will be, the answer would be millennials.
Yeah,
to born
boo.
Okay, so it's millennials and born
The
freeze,
answer
right?
is
Yes,
millennial.
because remember, those are the people that have experienced both, apartheid and post-apartheid.
Okay,
Yes.
okay,
Because
okay.
remember, we went through the hardships,
Mm-hmm.
but by the time, I always say to people, the only song that was playing when Mandela had just won the elections
Yeah.
Sure.
was Vuvuzela. I remember that day, and I was even in a magazine, an international
Mm.
magazine, I think, in England, UK magazine, sorry, called Esquire.
Mm.
Because that's when the song became huge,
Mm.
because that was the only song playing at the Carlton Center that day
Wow.
after elections.
That is
Okay,
lovely.
we said if you agree with Palesa, because she had lost that question,
Yeah.
we'll give it to her. So we'll give it to
Yes.
her
Because only the king of
only the king
Kwaito.
of Kwaito can change our minds,
Yes.
right? So, okay, we are equal when it comes to the quiz today. But welcome on
Correct.
the show, King of Kwaito. Arthur, thank you for joining us right now. We're going back into memory lane with you. And let's go back to the beginning. We always love starting with the beginning, right? You started as a dancer. You started as someone who was organizing gigs as a beat maker. You were almost behind the scenes, and I think it caught you by surprise as well to be someone who's in front of the scene in terms of you being the spotlight. When you were kind of doing all these different things with the beginning of Kwaito, did you think you'd become the main man that you became?
At some point, as you were unpacking it, I nearly interrupted you because somewhere you got it wrong. And, I always wanted to be famous. I always wanted to be in the forefront.
Yeah.
And that's why I felt football was wasting my time.
Okay.
I thought I was going to be a football star by right. And I felt it was delaying me. So I had to move into something that would give me that spotlight quicker. But then one had to go certain channels in order to graduate. And dance was that stepping stone into being who I always wanted to be.
Okay, so dance was basically your way of getting into that spotlight. And how did it evolve into you becoming the spokesperson of the Kwaito genre? You actually saying, you know what, I want to be the musician here.
If you are the creator, you lead. You don't self-appoint yourself. It's who I was. Kwaito who I was. Kwaito is who I am. Kwaito is what I invented. So there was no way I would have been anything else.
And Arthur, during that time, a lot of people were, especially when you started coming out, there were other people who were pioneering the genre of Kwaito alongside you. And essentially, it was almost like you and your co-pioneers of this genre were leading something that wasn't just music for the sake of entertainment, but also music for the sake of messaging. There must have been a little bit of fear there, because sometimes in the lyrics that were pushing the boundaries of what used to be banned into a place where you guys were normalizing speaking about some of those things. How was that for you?
If you have ever ducked bullets, experienced tear gas, ducked police and ran away from police dogs, you wouldn't be fearless to just create a music genre. It
Right.
starts there. So you understand what I'm talking about. We are a generation that comes from apartheid. So fear was never in the vocabulary.
Sure. And I get that, right? Because for many of us who haven't touched bullets or known what tear gas feels like, I wouldn't understand that words are the least that can happen to you after all those experiences. But going into the music itself, you did say you felt like, okay, football was going to be like the long way around for you. Then you went into dance and then essentially into music. But then it took on its own level and its own kind of growth. When when you started seeing that happen, when your realization to be famous, your realization to be at the top of something was starting to happen, what is it that changed about you? What changed about your life? What also changed about how you saw music other than just an avenue to fame?
I'm lucky because I researched music from an early age, and everything happened at the right time. There was no time where you'd say, now I've arrived, because we were one of those kids that grew up with that arrogance that we are going to be something and we are going to take over. Hence, I said, I thought it was going to happen in football. When you grow up and you read a lot of inspirational books of Muhammad Ali, you read about Pele, people that you don't even dream of being, and you say, one day I want to change the world, and it's going to happen. You start, meditating and thinking about it. And by the time it happens, it's just, a gradual progression from what you always dreamed of to what you are now achieving. And you don't see anything wrong. And it's never satisfying. You just keep on feeling like you haven't done enough. Like, I feel like if I was born during this era, I would have been 4 or 5 times who I was then.
Yeah.
Because it's easier now
For
to do
sure.
anything that you want.
For
Barriers
sure.
of entry
Yeah.
are lesser as compared to our times.
Nice, man. Okay, Arthur, stay on the line. Such interesting detail that's coming from you in terms of how you started your career. You were also controversial in your music, right? That K song was one that stirred the country, but it was so popular. People tried to contain it. People tried to say, no, this song should be on airwaves. But somehow it just took its own form and was a song that really you couldn't avoid during the mid-90s. So we'll chat a little bit about that after the break.
Get set and be ready to go. On the move with Palesa and Benjamin Moshatama. Africa in Business on Channel Africa.
The United States was very vocal at the beginning of South Africa's G20 presidency, and this is largely due to strained relations with South Africa at the time, that they were not really keen on participating. Where do they stand right now?
The US is planning to take over the presidency of the G20 next year, and our understanding from them is that they intend to continue to do so, and therefore it is quite difficult then to be in a situation where you are not attending deputies' meetings or discussions during our presidency and then to take over the presidency next year. From a finance track perspective, there has been engagement. We've been working on a communique last week and this week here in Zimbabwe. What's important about that is that it's a consensus document, and so all the members in the room have to agree to the language that is used there, and our US colleagues have been part of those discussions and negotiations.
Bringing the African markets into your home. Channel Africa, the African perspective. We are on Open Views Audio Bouquet. Channel 628.
Ben, do you still remember how to dance to this one?
My toilata is still there.
Okay, let's see.
My toilata is
the
still
song is
there.
playing. Let's go, Benji. Come
my
on.
toilata is still
You
there.
can do it. Benny, the song
I'm
is
still
playing.
a bit shy. Man. Let's speak to the king of Kwaito before we get into this.
All right. We're hanging out with the king of Kwaito, Arthur Mafuka, there, who's joining us on the line here on The Move. If you want to see our interactions with him, you can join our live streams on YouTube. We are Channel Africa 1 there, and on Facebook, simply Channel Africa. We continue this really intriguing conversation as we go down memory lane, but we're also coming into the future, because there is no future without the past, and we're putting it all together to see how this incredible man has really pioneered the music industry here in South Africa, and of course on the African at large. Well, Atha, dance is a big thing when it comes to your music or the music that we knew you for. And you said you wanted to start with dance because it was almost like an automatic way to go into the music industry. That trend has come back, actually. That pipeline of dance to music is something that we're seeing growing once again, where every song has a dance and a TikTok craze. I remember watching an episode of a reality show that your daughter is a part of and your son is a part of, and you were saying, I told you that this is coming back. You've always been able to spot trends before they come in. I know it's a natural thing that comes to you, but how do you do that? How are you able to see something before it happens when it comes to dance and music trends?
I don't know. Maybe it's, you dream about these things. Like I said earlier on, you visualize them and you know they're going to happen. And at what point do they happen? You don't know. But when they happen, you say, but I did see this in my dream. Because, we are Africans. We are dancers. We are singers. We are rappers. We are performers. That's one special gift that God gave us. Not just excelling in sports only, but we are that kind of people that loves celebrating, and you can't celebrate without song and dance.
And also, that generation was also poking fun at some of the histories of South Africa. I remember when Boom Shaka had a song that was alluding to the national anthem, and it was banned, right? And your song as well with the K word was, people started talking about it as if like, yo, no, you can't say that word. No, guys, this is not a song to sing, But you guys were breaking the mold in that time of what actually the freedom that we were inheriting was all about. Could we speak about the past? Could we embrace the present? And it was a new period of just expression, right? For you, when you look back at some of those things that were such, they seem small today because life has moved on and people are exploring language in a different way. When you think back, like, was that supposed to be that controversial because it was just creative art that we were just expressing at the time? What do you think about that era when you look at what's happening now in the modern music, especially in dance music in South Africa?
Honestly speaking, even now, I still get surprised when somebody says you can't say, don't call me a kefir.
Yeah.
What then do you want to call me? I'm saying, don't call me a kefir. Call me something else. Call me a human being. Call me something. But how do I say, don't call me a kefir? I can't say, don't call me a kefir.
Sure.
It's difficult. I know you guys might be in trouble, and if I'm in trouble, so be it. But I don't want to be called a kefir. Hence I said, don't call me a kefir. And I had to express myself, and I felt it was the right time to say it because we just got freedom, and one experienced it. And what do? I want to express myself because now the history would not have been told that some people are still called kefirs even in modern day. So I had to say that.
And when you look at the messaging that, I think you opened a pathway, right, for expression, because music is very kind of confident in today's dance music scene. I mean, when you think about a song like Mnige, it was like a very sexualized song, and it was about kind of had that sexual meanings, but you'd never really heard it so abrasively back then. And I think it was a generation such as yours that came out to say, let's speak our minds, let's come out with what's happening in the streets and feel and express what we are experiencing in the townships, in the hood, in our lives.
Yeah, I mean, if you have followed my life, you would understand how chilled I am, and I've never been that person that wanted to offend anybody. And most of my lyrics would have double barrel meanings, and that wouldn't be my choice. It would be what the public thinks and what I think and how I interpret them. Hence, they would be played on radio. They wouldn't be banned anyway because I never said what people say I was saying. And, now songs are even worse than that, and most of the songs, I always say to people, thank God, as much as I was not living far from those boys that did Sister Bettina, I would have changed some of the lyrics. I know them very well, but I would not have allowed some of the songs. But guess what? It's South Africa's national anthem. Not national anthem as in, the respected, but I'm saying in terms of the dance floors. It's that big, but it's swearing. I never saw you in my songs. But you guys chose a song that is swearing and you made it big. So, did you ever sit, and ask yourself why you're going mad each time it plays?
Yeah.
Did you ever blame yourself? You never did that.
Yeah.
You still, up to this day, if I play that song, you are the first to stand up. But it's a swearing song. And you're in denial.
All right, we have to wrap up, Arthur. Let's speak about today, right? Because even though we can take, a journey through that Kwaito era, but it doesn't mean that if you evolutionize something, that you stay in the background. What are you up to today? I mean, I'm pretty sure that you're still so hands-on in the music industry, even though we're not dancing to your particular music today. What is it that you're up to today?
Okay, some are still dancing to that music till today.
That's true. We are still dancing to that music.
There are people that are still dancing to that music today. Some are still remixing it. Yes, I'm doing other things. Running a marketing company.
Nice.
Doing events, running an events company, owning a equipment company, equipment hire and infrastructure hire, and having an online media platform as well called Lifestyle League. And there's a creative expo that does hiring of other things. There's roadshow marketing that does events and marketing, and also doing events like A Night with Legends, which is happening on the 1st of November.
Well, we look forward to it indeed. And Ben and I are some of those people who are still dancing
Yes,
to
we
your
are,
music.
definitely.
Because we are the millennials that you were speaking about earlier in the answer of the music quiz. Thank you so much for taking your time to speak to us. You sound like a very busy man in business and in music. So we appreciate the time that you've spent with us this morning.
Thank you.
That is the king of Kwaito, Arthur Mafokate, joining us this Friday here on The Move. It's 11:31 Central Africa time. Let's get our latest sports news. Musiburi Makura is standing by.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Thank you so much, Palesa. For the final time this morning, we'll start your sports bulletin with football news. Egypt have booked their place at the 2026 FIFA World Cup after a dominant 3-0 win over Djibouti, securing top spot in Group A with a game to spare. So that result ensures the Pharaohs return to the global stage for the very first time since the 2022 edition in Qatar. It will also be their fourth appearance at a World Cup, following campaigns in 1934, 1990, as well as 2018. Egypt's qualification also marks the culmination of a near-flawless campaign under coach Hussam Hassan, who has combined defensive discipline with attacking flair. The Pharaohs have scored 19 goals in 9 matches, with Mohamed Salah leading from the front, scoring 9 of those 19 goals. Meanwhile, Zambia's men's national football team last night beat Tanzania 1-0 in the World Cup qualifier in Group E, a match played in Tanzania. And Chapolo coach Avram Grant says his team fully deserved the victory over Tanzania. So Zambia's Fashion Sakala scored the only goal in the 74th minute after tapping home a Lubambo Masonda assist to seal all 3 points on offer for the Copper Bullets. Now, speaking to the media in the post-match interview, Zambia coach Avram Grant praised his players for showing determination as well as tactical discipline against a well-organized Tanzanian side. Grant also said the victory was an important step in Zambia's mission to secure a top 2 finish in Group E and will help the team to better prepare for the forthcoming AFCON tournament to be held in Morocco in December of this year. Well, on to some more positive news from a South African point of view. Nadine de Klerk hit a blistering unbeaten 84 from about 54 balls as South Africa produced a stunning comeback to beat the co-host and the favourites India by about 3 wickets at the Women's World Cup yesterday. So having slipped to 81 for 5 in reply to India's 251 all out, the Proteas looked destined for a second defeat in 3 games before de Klerk's intervention. The all-rounder dismantled an increasingly bewildered India attack, launching 5 sixes on her way to the highest international score and the 5th of those blows, sealing the win with about 7 balls to spare. Captain Nora Wolfart started the South African recovery, hitting a patient 70 from 111 balls with her 61-run stand alongside Chloe Traon laying the foundation for de Klerk's late onslaught. Now Traon, who made 49 from the 66 balls, put up another 69 with de Klerk in quick time before the latter saw the job through to leave India fans as well as the players alike wondering just how that game slipped through their fingers. That result also means South Africa go level on points with India, who miss the chance to go top of the table, suffering their first defeat at this year's tournament. Onto this now, Jenny van Dijk, the head coach of the South African national netball team, says that they want to conclude the series against Australia on a positive note. So the Swamp Proteas will face the Diamonds of Australia in the third and final match tomorrow, with the host leading the series 2-0.
For us, for this final test match, it's very important to finish strong. Yes, we have lost the series, but for us, it's really about learning from our mistakes and giving a solid performance as we did at the end of the New Zealand series. So that's what we're definitely looking to do.
South Africa were beaten by New Zealand 3-0 in a 3-match test series, while Australia are looking now for a whitewash tomorrow, having already secured the series following their second victory over South Africa just a few days ago, should I say. So Van Dijk now speaks about the lessons learned from the tour down under.
Oh, definitely plenty of lessons learned. But to us, from the beginning of this tour, one of our big focuses was to really identify and see what happens when we're under tremendous pressure, being brought forward by the best number 1 and 2 in the world, and where we lack and what areas we lack in. When we under all that sort of pressure. At the moment, I think our defence have really absorbed the pressure well, and we've made quite a lot of progress.
All right, so that concludes your Sports User Hour. For any sports stories you'd like to share with us, our email address is newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Give us a call on +27 11714 4459. Have a great sporting weekend. For Channel Africa Sport, I am Mosibudi Makura.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Annie Kalonji sur Channel Africa.
Comment est-ce que les militants et sympathisants du parti, les transformateurs, ont-ils réagi face à la condamnation de Succès Masra?
La condamnation de Succès Masra ne nous a pas surpris et les militants transformateurs ont été bouleversés et indignés étant donné que le verdict est un verdict lourd, illégal, injuste et donc face à la répression dans laquelle le peuple tchadien est confronté, les militants transformateurs se sont résignés de ne pouvoir pas sortir manifester. Et donc, c'est une situation totalement absurde pour un pays. Et aujourd'hui, nous célébrons le 11 août, fête de l'indépendance. On pensait que le verdict allait être plus ou moins clément, mais le verdict est sévère.
Annie Kalonji, tous les dimanches sur Mix Vibration.
No time to waste. Be on the move with Benjamin Moshatama and Palesa.
All right, so let's quickly move on right now with our business news.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Thank you, Benjamin, and good morning. South African Director General of the National Treasury, Duncan Pieterse, says the country is on track to meet its 2 main fiscal targets this year, stabilizing its public debt and increasing the size of its primary budget surplus. The South African economy has struggled to curb rising public debt after more than a decade of runaway spending that outpaced revenue growth. But this year, the fiscal picture looks much better, with Treasury data for the first 5 months of the 2025-26 financial year showing revenue is up more than 10% and spending only 4%. Peter says spending has slowed in part because of the protracted of this year's main budget, which was held up for months by political wrangling between the two main coalition partners, the African National Congress and the Democratic Alliance. The South African Commercial Catering and Allied Workers Union, SACAWU, in KwaZulu-Natal province has highlighted workers' poor and exploitative conditions. As part of its golden anniversary, the union has started to mobilize its members to fight against exploitation. SACAWU Regional Secretary Matthews Ndlovu says the workers have many challenges.
Our members are being paid an hour, and companies have developed an attitude of reducing those hours, but also very terrible conditions that our members are still working under. Like when you go to, let me not mention companies, but to supermarkets, big supermarkets, we'll find cashiers standing whilst working. There are no chairs provided for them to sit. Others are in relation to late trading, where there's no transport, a safe and reliable transport taking our members home. Those are some of the issues that we have observed and we are addressing as a union.
The Johannesburg Stock Exchange, the JSE, has announced that its CEO, Leila Fourie, will retire at the end of March next year. Fourie has been CEO since 2019 and has been praised for having led the JSE with strategic clarity and an unwavering commitment to transformation. JSE Chairman Phuthuma Nhleko says under Fourie's leadership, the stock exchange achieved a turnaround in earnings quality, successfully diversified its revenue profile and modernized its core technology and regulatory frameworks. Valdin Reddy, the current director of capital markets, will take over as CEO from April 2026, subject to regulatory approval. Asian stocks have fallen as escalating U.S.-China economic tensions and uncertainty about political developments in Japan sapped investor confidence, while commodities took a breather after their recent charge higher. MSCI's broadest index of Asia-Pacific shares outside Japan fluctuated between gains and losses and was last down 0.4% as its gains for the new week evaporated after U.S. stocks ended the previous session with mild declines. Shares in Hong Kong were down the most of 1.8%, while the Australian market slid 0.1% against a backdrop of volatile commodity markets. In other news, the U.S. has purchased Argentine pesos, taking the next step in a controversial effort to calm a currency crisis hitting the South American country and its president. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent announced the purchase on social media while saying the U.S. had finalized terms of a planned $20 billion financial rescue for the country. The announcement helped boost the peso and Argentine debt on financial markets, but renewed debate in the U.S. where the decision to extend financial support to Argentina at a time of spending cuts at home has drawn scrutiny. Now let's have a look at financial indicators. $1 in Nigeria is at 1,472 naira. In Botswana, 13 pula 20. Kenya, the dollar is 128 shilling. 483, Zambia 23 kwacha 24. BRICS countries, $1 in Brazil is at 5 real 35. In Russia, 81 rubles 26. India 88 rupee 80. China 71.13. South Africa 17 rand 16 cents. $1 is 74 pence to the British pound, 86 to the euro. Commodities, gold is at $3,963, platinum at $1,596 per ounce. The price of Brent crude oil at $64.80 a barrel. That is all from me. For any business stories you'd like to share with us, please send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za, or you can call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa Business, I am Chandruko Ligege.
Business News On Channel Africa, the African perspective. AUSISA, the Association of Water and Sanitation Institution of South Africa, is a platform uniting Africa's water professionals. This November, Africa leads the conversation on water and sanitation. Join global and African leaders at the AUSISA Africa and Global South Dialogue 2025 from the 9th till the 12th of November at the Emperor's Palace, Johannesburg. From policy innovation, this is where action meets collaboration for a water-secure future. Register today at ausisa-watersan-dialogue.org or follow at AUSISA on social media. AUSISA, working together for sustainable water and sanitation security in Africa. No time to waste. Be on the move with Benjamin Moshatama and Palesa.
Osebesamile baningi bethi sohlukana kodwa lento yenzeki obathu baby ungidisile kanti abazi ukuthi mina ngisemathandweni wowindizamshini baby angizokutengela angizokutengela ipanoyi my love angizokutengela ipanoyi my love angizokutengela ipanoyi my love angizokutengela ipanoyi my love ufike empilweni yami niphethe ibhemile izinto zazingcono malamba luvukile futhi kusandana dali into ebidale ngiyokuthanda ngiyoza ngibele kale indlizisha kancane mangiziphimbo lwakho sandwa ngikhathale ngiyohlala ngingowakho wowindizamshini dali angizokutengela ipanoyi my love 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 awuthoma bebathini wena ungowami awuthoma bebathini wena ungowami wowindizamshini my love angizokutengela
Just the facts and the music you love. On Channel Africa. No time to waste. Be on the move with Benjamin Moshatama and Palesa. Africa. It's time to plug into the heartbeat of the continent. Tune in to Channel Africa, your go-to radio station that broadcasts in 5 different languages.
L'Afrique du Sud célèbre la journée nationale du
Kabla hujaitwa kwa jina la Double K
or more of our forests have been destroyed.
Tamo kutuli bwanji ndi
Partido Africano da Independência da Guiné.
See, Channel Africa represents every corner of this amazing land. From Lagos to Cape Town, Nairobi to Dakar, we've got you covered with the freshest news, music, and cultures. So, turn up the volume, feel the rhythm. Enjoy the conversation. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Benjamin Moshatama and Palesa on the
Chimani pasa peace of mind. She got a man, but he had no mind. The pass love, baby, don't be stingy. The way you phone now, can't you see? Baby, baby, Osani see you, no see longa way. Baby, baby, Osani panga chipuba, Superman. Nini na power monga Superman. I'm gonna protect you, monga Superman. Nina olimba monga Superman. Give you what belongs to Caesar. To Caesar, baby, I'm the leader. You what she touch it, deliver. Give you what belongs to Caesar. To Caesar, baby, I'm the leader. Deliver. Call a big baller. My lady's coming to want more. She love the way I put it down, but even more she love my aura. Shake like thunder, beat like drama. This right here is a la casa. Somebody please call emergency. The way the girl is hurting me, yeah. I like her, she a freak. My wife, she a keeper. No one like her, she a sniper. My type of ghetto diva. I like her, she a freak. My wife, she a keeper. No one like her, she a sniper. My type of ghetto diva. Superman, shawty say you want a Superman. Baby, you know you a superwoman. So you and I could be the super friends. Maybe I'm a lover, maybe I'm a pleaser. Give it to you hard, never will I tease you. Eat it like salad, call that a season. So when I'm in Rome, you should follow the leader. Give me what belongs to Caesar. To Caesar, baby, I'm the leader. You a cheat and check, deliver. Give me what belongs to Caesar. To Caesar, baby, I'm the leader. Superman, nini na power monga Superman. I'm gonna protect you monga Superman. Nina olimba monga Superman.
This is Yo Maps featuring Omari, and it's titled Superman. I've been having a good time here in our studios on The Move. Black Diamond came through before that with Ibanoi. What a beautiful Friday it has been. But you know, like all good things have to come to an end. It doesn't mean Channel Africa has come to an end though. Just on The Move for this week.
Your mood just picked up after the verdicts by Atham Africa.
Correct. Once again, and put the volume up this time because you were trolling me. Correct. One more time, please. One more time. Thank you,
Not
thank
necessary.
you, thank you.
Hey.
The king of Kwaito himself saying, Palesa, you were right, you were correct.
Okay, cool. We've got Lulugabu here to let us know what's coming up on the show, the Africa Update, from 1 o'clock Central African Time from midday Central African Time to 1 o'clock Central African Time. How's it going, Lulu?
Hello.
Hey, Lulu.
Yazi ngesizathu sithi asilali.
Yeah.
Hey man, bayasirokha lapha eHawk. I'm good, thanks. How are you? It's a happy Friday. All right, so today we're focusing on the General Commissioner, so SAP's General Commissioner, Fani Masimula. He's resumed his testimony today, or his briefing before the Parliament's ad hoc committee, and the explosive stuff that's coming out. It's unbelievable.
We don't have a police force.
No. We do have a police force, but it's just that what he's saying is that there are good people in the police force. It's just that there are a few of those rotten apples.
Are they few?
Yeah, let's say that. I mean, look at what we saw yesterday.
Hey, Mara, it feels like the more they speak, the more of
coming
them
out
they are.
and saying that he feels he's hurt by...
And the arrests yesterday.
Well, not the arrest, the search and seizures.
Oh, the seizures, I mean.
Yeah, the search and seizures.
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting one. And then I remember hearing that they also went to the suspended or the special leave, the minister on special leave, to his house, and the security wouldn't let them in. So it's an interesting one that's unfolding in South Africa. What it'll do going forward is going to be something we're all looking forward to. And then we're focusing on Cameroonians on Sunday going to the polls for the presidential elections.
Okay.
And we're going to be speaking to Cameroon Renaissance Movement representative Nestor Jomachu. And he'll unpack for us exactly what they're hoping will come out from these elections and what citizens are fighting for. And I think with Lieutenant General Shadrack Sibiya, that's South Africa's Deputy Commissioner of Police, being suspended, the search and seizure, his reaction, and the chief of sorry, my trail of thought now. The gentleman who was speaking also had a press briefing yesterday.
The chief
staff
of
the minister, who then held a press briefing to say that what I won't forget is him saying that if anything happens to him, people must know that it is Masimula. So there's a lot unfolding on this front.
And fingers pointing in every direction, let me tell you.
And then on a sad note, the former late ambassador of South Africa to France, his body has arrived in the country, and it is going to be a Category 2 official funeral. And he is being obviously repatriated from Johannesburg, from the Gauteng province to the KZN province. The funeral is on Sunday, and we do have Michael Mbewe on the ground there, and he'll actually unpack for us who he's managed to speak to. There's a memorial service and all of that. So all that and more coming up on Africa Update.
All right, that's it for today from us, but stay right here on Channel Africa.
Of course, from myself, Palesa Tau, and Benjamin Moshatama. We'll be back again next week. Have a great day.
God bless everybody.
Yeah. Don't try to move me from my lover, yeah. Suited for each other. Tailor-made, I'm glued up on my lover. I'll never lose him to another, yeah. When we talked on the phone and you said that you love me, did you say that that's for sure, yeah? I wanna scream from the top of the rooftop, tell you that my love for you, I keep on rewind. I struggle to find new words to define. Wanna love, yeah. Wanna love,
Get Channel Africa on DSTV Audio Bouquet.
Channel 802.
It is midday, and this is Africa Update, coming to you live from Johannesburg.